Yes, thank y'all so very much. Welcome to another episode of the Wiley Show. I have been up all night because we've been having breaking news and I've been watching a lot of stuff that's been going on. So let's definitely get into it. When you come on in the room, make sure you all thumbs up the video. Been up all night. Had got some terrible news that we have to report on. This on last night. Um, Damar, is it? Yeah, Damar Hamlin, a safety of the Buffalo Bills, had to been rushed to the hospital because of heart problems. And I'm seeing the media talk about this, and I saw it. I just like, wow, this is crazy. Like this young safety, 24 years old, have to been rushed to the hospital, heart stopped. They had to administer CPR, cardiac arrest, and all of that, and have to have tubes and everything that was coming up. And I want to say something that's going to be very controversial. The NFL is the most dangerous sport in America. It's a dangerous sport. We are live, okay? Don't come in here asking us we live because we never talked about um, Damar Hamlet before. But the NFL is very dangerous. And it is so dangerous that you can develop concussions. I believe they call it the whole thing with your brain. It's a lot of people that committed the S word because of the injuries. A lot of people get into domestic violence dispute because they have a lot of injuries to their brain and alter their behavior. Definitely, it's a very dangerous sport, and it's nothing that the NFL can do to make this sport safe because it's a contact sport. So I understand why y'all and young men want to join the NFL. I get it because you get into wealth, you're able to take care of your family, but you have to balance out the destruction, even having heart problems, a broken leg, broken arm, paralyzed. It's like so many things that can happen to you when you are doing something like being in the NFL. And so, they have to put breathing tubes in him to help him breathe. And it's very dangerous. And I know a lot of people, I'm not a football fan. I only watch during the Super Bowl. Every once in a while, if a game is on, it's on. But I'm not the type of person that I'm trying to watch all the games and all of that. No, if the Chicago Bears is playing, maybe I tune in. But if I miss it, it doesn't bother me. But it's a very dangerous sport. I remember I was watching a movie on Will Smith. I forgot the name of it. And they were breaking it down about concussions. And Will Smith character, he was playing a doctor. I can't remember that doctor name, but it was something in the movie. He said, God did not create you to play football. The body is not designed to take on all of that impact. No matter whatever try to rules they try to change. But if you get tackled or you get slammed to the ground, even with a helmet, your body is not designed to take on that impact. God did not design the human body and say, okay, it's equipped for all of that, impact. It's not. A lot of football players have, especially when you are a safety, when you are different type of, when you're taking the hits, they don't, a lot of them don't play for a long period of time because it's a lot of wear and tear, on your body. And so when Damar, when the helmet hit his chest, it's like his heart stopped. And it's definitely very dangerous. And so, and this is something that I research, that a lot of insurance companies, health insurance companies, do not want to insure you if they found out that you were a football player. A lot of insurance companies, a lot of health insurance companies don't even want you on their policy because if you were a football player, because of the destruction of your body. This is a really tough sport. And people have their kids playing in high school and in college. And I understand it because most people that are playing this sport, they are poor. They're coming from, low income areas. So this is their ticket out. And a lot of parents really push their children to say, you gotta, football, get into sports because that's their ticket out of the ghetto. That's their ticket out of the hood. That's their ticket out of poverty. And most of these football players is first generation into coming into money. So having this whole idea, yes, the NFL need to be called out. Have the NFL changed? Yes. I was listening to one of the people that were talking, and he said if this was about 10 years ago, they would have continued the game, even though somebody had to get rushed to the hospital 10 or 15 years ago, they would have continued. Now I think the NFL is under a lot of pressure because of CTE, because of the controversy, and because of that movie that Will Smith put out there, and now is in the national conversation, is in our mindset, and they got the media, they got the world watching. So they said, okay, let's postpone the game. But let's be clear, that's a very dangerous sport. A lot of high school kids get paralyzed and get injuries when it comes to this football sport. It's very dangerous. And football is not the only dangerous sport. You got wrestling. Wrestling is another sport that is very dangerous. I don't know if you ever heard of the wrestler Chris Benoit. Actually did he deleted his entire family, and then he wound up deleting himself. But his father donated his brain to be studied, and they found out it was a lot of brain damage, and it was they concluded that Chris Benoit had the symptoms of CTE. So you have to be very careful. And in order for that to be studied, you have to get an autopsy. And so this sport, again, back to the NFL, like even boxing, thank you, boxing is very dangerous because you're taking blows to the head, blows to your chest, blows to your body. UFC is very dangerous. Those are some very dangerous sports, and one bad blow can take you out. Do I think that the NFL needs to be eliminated? Yes. And the reason why I say the NFL should be eliminated is because it's a very dangerous sport. That's just like okay, you all get in cars and just get in car accidents. That's dangerous. We can't do that. We can't go and say, okay, let's have a sport and we get in some cars and just crash into each other because it's dangerous. So, when you're playing NFL, it's a very dangerous sport unless you're playing flag football with the flag, in which they're not going to do that. It's that, tackling. If they tackle you the wrong way, it can cause a lot of damage. This guy is 24 years old. He's a safety, very good in his community. I was doing some research. He does, he helps the children. He helps all type of organizations, and yet he is, trying to survive. And his mother was in the stand, and she saw this, and so she's in the hospital seeing her son hooked up to tubes. It's very, very dangerous. It's a very dangerous sport that one bad hit can take you out. You can get spinal damages. You can get eye damage. It's so many damages that can happen to the human body because, again, your human body is not designed to take on impact. Your human body is not, if you tackle me the wrong way or slam me on the ground the wrong way, it can probably eliminate me or paralyze me or take me out because the human body is not designed to take on that impact. It is the truth. Now, a lot of people are not going to call it out, but if I was on CNN talking to Don Lemon on CNN this morning, I would have said, okay, a lot of people don't want to say this is a very unpopular conversation, very unpopular opinion, but yes, the NFL should be disbanded because it's putting a lot of black and brown bodies at risk because the majority of the players in the NFL are black people. Now I get it that okay, this is how you make your living, but you're putting your bodies at risk. And if you look at the domestic violence dispute in the NFL, it's very high. And I don't have the scientific data, but I can tell you a lot of those players, their behavior is getting altered because you're taking all them hits to the head. It alters your behavior. So you go home, you just be and get so aggressive. You want to take it out on your wife, on your girlfriend. That's why a lot of these players do a lot of dangerous things. And I don't have the scientific data to back that up. I'm just giving my opinion. But I do know if you are taking hits to the head, that have to alter a lot in your body. So, it's very, very dangerous. I don't have the statistics to back it up. But when I look at that, I'm like, okay, what was their position? How many blows did they take? And that just really have to be studied when it comes to this situation. So I am praying for this young man that, he get through this and he survived this. But I also, with my prayer, have to be developed into action, and that, yes, Congress needs to intervene and possibly disband the NFL as we know it, because it is a very dangerous sport. And if I speak about that, even wrestling is a very dangerous sport and hurt a lot of people. And a lot of wrestlers, life expectancy is real low. They die in their 40s. A lot of wrestlers don't make it into their 70s and their 80s and their 90s. They're kicking out. A lot of wrestlers have lost their lives in their 40s, in their 50s, for heart failure, for heart attacks and all that, because of the damage that are done to the body and on their chest. A lot of wrestlers, you can see the right part of the chest and left part is so separated because of the damage that they're doing to their bodies. So I believe those type of sports, unfortunately, need to be disbanded. I just don't understand that people are, still want to, and I get why they join it, because again, it is allowing these people to take care of their families. Mm-hmm. And I get that. And because how many jobs can you get where you can, take care of your entire family and get them out of the hood? Okay. So I understand why they won't put me on CNN, because I sent a tweet. I said, let me up on there, because I think that, the people that they were bringing up on there, wasn't really giving the real deal. Like CNN was dancing around. Like they asked the question, should rules change? Nobody really was honest. And the elephant in the room, yes, rules need to be changed, because I don't think that he would have been having that damage to his heart if it wasn't because of football. Now, some people have heart problems and you can live good lives, with some issues, right? But when you are, in football and you taking on all of that aggressive damage, it caused so many issues that you be like, wow, I didn't even know I had that. And so maybe this may be a career ending for him, which is sad, because this is how he makes his bread and butter. And I get that, and I understand that, but the risk that you're taking, you're putting your body on the line. You're literally putting your body on the line for somebody else's entertainment. And the owners, they're doing fine. They're making billions of dollars because they can easily replace you. But I also think like that mother is saying, oh my gosh, I wish my child never played football. I know those conversations are probably going on in that room, in those in a circle of that family, because yes, their son literally had to been rushed to the hospital from that way. And I get it. Football is one of the highest rated sports in the country, even around the world. The Super Bowl get hundreds of millions of people tune in, they watch the Super Bowl. And so I get it. This is not an easy task. I'm in a minority in this conversation. Because a lot of people are not going to really, really talk about it. So again, I don't know Mr. Hamlet, his health. I don't know his medical history, so I can just give my assumption. And so I'm definitely praying. Thank you, Regina. Said good job. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you to Regina Show for coming on the show and sending a super chat this morning. So that's what I had to say. So when I saw that, I said, wow, this is not good. And also, football players, their contracts are not guaranteed. Compared to other sports, soccer is a very profitable sport, a high paid sport. Basketball is like a high paid sport, but football are not. Their salaries is nowhere near compared to like soccer, quote unquote. They call that football, soccer, and all of that, and also basketball. So, this is really sad, and so I'm definitely sending my prayers to the family. But yes, some changes need to happen in NFL. Maybe they need to go to a non-contact sport and say we're just going to go to flag football. We're going to just change the game, though they may lose support from people watching this sport. But I would say again, it put a lot of people in danger. And also with something like baseball. Baseball is typically safe. It's not like you have to tackle somebody. And their contracts are pretty lucrative in baseball as well. But I'm definitely praying for this young man. He's 24 years old. He's young, and he definitely need help. He definitely need our prayers. But I do also believe that Congress should implement some policy and regulate the NFL. And I know they ain't gonna want to hear this, but this is just the beginning of more injuries in the NFL. Now they're trying to act like, oh my God, it's never happened before, but it may not happen on the field. Many people have passed away from damages of football. So take this as a warning to what's to come for football and for any sport. So I just think, particularly with football, it's a very dangerous sport. One of the dangerous sport because it's so aggressive, so much drive. Like all that UFC, wrestling, those sports are very dangerous because you're taking blows, you're taking hits, and I definitely think our government should implement some new policies when it comes to football and also boxing. Thank you, California girl. Thank you for the super chat. And so I think those policies need to happen. And I'm going to continue to keep y'all updates on this young man. I'm literally, you see me kind of like looking over there because I'm actually looking at the TV. I got this big old screen in front of me and getting some updates on him. Right as of right now, they said we probably won't have an update on him until tomorrow. Like a good update. So I'm keep looking at CNN to see if there's any updates on him, and we definitely are going to keep you all updated of him. Mm-hmm. So I think when it comes to that, when it comes to safety, so I'm definitely praying, y'all. I have to talk about this subject because I didn't know he existed. Because like I said, I'm not a football player. I'm not a football fan. Now, did I play up some football in high school? Yeah, for about a couple of days. I played some football, but I was just so scared of being tackled. I quit the football team. I remember I played football in elementary school for a couple of days, and then I joined the football team in high school because I saw the football players were getting all the girls. So I said, okay, let me join the football team. Didn't last because I didn't like the aggressiveness. I was scared of being tackled. I didn't want to get hurt. I didn't, all that. So I said, let me go ahead on and turn in my cleats. I guess that's what they call it. And I'm done with this whole football. So I went on and joined something very safe. I joined the debate team. And I got into the debate team and I joined the Know Your Heritage team. I got into that, but I tried the football for a couple of days. It wasn't for me. I didn't like all that football practice. You had to run. You had the different people yelling at you, because I was a rookie. I didn't like the aggressiveness. I was like, this ain't for me. If I'm not a football player, I was a big guy, but football just wasn't for me. I couldn't play basketball. I never could throw a ball in the hoop. I tried that for the basketball team, didn't get picked. And I said, okay, I'm not really for that. And so I just started developing, started to get into debate team. I really love to talk. I love to communicate. I won a couple of speaker awards in the debate team, and it was a great thing. But I didn't want to get into being into football. I just never was into that. But I understand it. I'm gonna try to make sure if I have children, to get them in playing piano, get them to becoming singers, get them to become radio personalities, computer engineers, technical, into tech, being plumbers, owning their own plumbing company, and all of that. I don't really want my children into playing football. But if I see them, that's their dream. If that's what they want to do, then of course I will support that dream, especially if they're good. But that I would not try to like, oh my gosh, you have to be a football player. Oh my gosh, you have to do that. Oh my gosh, you have to be a wrestler. I'm not going to try to encourage that. But if they do it, of course, as a parent, I will have to support my child in whatever thing they want to do. But I'm not going to try to encourage it because it's a very, dangerous sport. And so we definitely are going to pray for this young man and keep him in your prayers. And if I have any updates during this broadcast, I will bring y'all the updates. Okay. Let's go to another topic here. Kevin McCarthy is trying to run to be the next Speaker of the House today. But new Congress are being sworn in, and the Republicans are in control. But Kevin McCarthy is short of getting the votes, 218, I believe 218 votes to become the new Speaker of the House. It's a lot of people. It's about 5 or 6 Republicans are saying no to Kevin McCarthy. He's trying to, get them to vote him in. And the House cannot run without a speaker. So they definitely need a speaker so the House can run smoothly. This is embarrassment for the Republican Party because they've been voted in. Obviously, this is not a good sign for Kevin McCarthy to, having a hard time getting his conference to vote him in. And so this is very embarrassment for the Republican Party. This haven't really happened until like decades ago. You have to go all the way back to the 1920s when they had a problem trying to vote in a new speaker. It's really sad, but this should just show you the party that really don't have organizations. The Republican Party is really broken. They're not that unified. And I think because of the whole Trump factor, because of people, this whole I want to cater towards these Trump Republicans, you really don't have those Republicans that, leaning towards working with Democrats. It's weird with the Republican, with the Democrats, you got the progressives, you got the, those traditional Democrats, progressives, you got different parts of the Democrats. But when it comes to the Republican Party, you got a lot of division with the Republican Party. They're not that unified. And because of Trump, you have a lot of people that are in there that are trying to cater towards the Trump voters, the Trump base, the Trump Republicans. And those Republicans are election deniers. Some of them are very racist. It's really, really sad. Even when he get elected, they're talking about investigating Joe Biden, talking about impeaching him. They're talking about investigating Joe Biden's son and having him to go again, answer questions with Congress. But you rarely hear them saying, okay, how are we going to govern and pass laws to help our constituents? And a lot of the constituents of the Republican Party a lot of them were voting them in and say, okay, we just want Republicans to control. It's a slim majority, and this is why Kevin McCarthy is having a terrible time, because he don't have a healthy, majority. It's a very slim majority. And so it's even questions now. They're saying, well, maybe they have to work. Maybe he have to talk to some Democrats to vote for him. But that's highly unlikely. I don't see the Democrats actually working for him. And so, you see the Republicans now, and I said, what bills are going to pass? Are you going to pass HR 40, which they're not going to do that? Are you going to pass bills to make it mandatory for, the IRS, to make it mandatory for, presidential candidates to have their taxes to be, released to the public? And it's another bill that they need to get. I was watching on the news that the government allow banks, they grade banks. And one way they grade banks of them giving loans to giving loans to low income people. And also they grade banks about how much they're investing in low income housing. I learned this today. I was watching on the news that a lot of banks here in Texas are silent partners of a lot of low income housing. But the low income housing is in crime infested areas, meaning that they're building these properties in low income areas, and it's dangerous because a lot of people are in war zones, and what Dallas call it crime hotspots, and so, but when it's time for them to give loans to low income people, particularly Black and brown people, it's about two or three loans. But the reason why they invest in low income housing is because the government gives them tax credits, and they get all the money. They get all of that money back, and they get and they can sell it and get a profit. I think that's an issue. I think that's a problem. And so I hope that Congress say, okay, banks, y'all must not only, invest in low income housing, but you must give loans to Black and brown people so they can own their own businesses, so they can become homeowners. Not just you just invest in low income housing, but you must have a class organization in a pool and a gateway for them to become homeowners. So I believe that policy need to change and get and to be regulated, and say, okay, banks, y'all must give loans to Black and brown communities, to people with low income. Y'all must give loans to them, and y'all must help them. And you must invest not only in just a low income housing, but you must invest into schools. You must invest into Black owned businesses and all of that. And that's how a community thrives. And so I was really sitting in my bed, and I was looking at the crime here in Dallas, and the poverty that's here in Dallas, Texas, in whatever area I'm studying, whether it's Baltimore, whether it's Dallas, whether it's Chicago, what's in common is poverty. What's in common is lack of resources. I don't care. You could pick any area in this country. You look at the lack of resources. You look at areas that are thriving, the income base, they're homeowners, they're owning companies. Companies are thriving there. The dollars are just circulating. But you go to our areas, it's neglect. It's no type of economic advancement. The people that are working, they are working minimum wage jobs, and it's just no type of incentives. And I believe this: if you qualify for Section A and low income, the government should foot the bill for them to go to college and stuff for free. And then also, once you go to college for free, we will help you get a low interest loan to become homeowners, right? We're going to teach you, we're going to take you to the course and all of that. You get a degree from the government. You also get a low interest loan, but you must live in this community and then do that. And that's how these communities would change. You see more wealth coming to those communities because they're going to be educated. They're going to be able to compete for good paying jobs. And then one of the stipulations should be so they won't go to the suburbs and be like, okay, you got to live in this community. And that's how you will see that community change. Now, it would take about a good while for it to be implemented to really change, but you will see that area change, because when you get those developers to come in the neighborhood, you're going to have a qualified Black and brown folks that can afford to live in these institutions because they got PhDs, they got their master's degrees that's paid by the government, and also they're back with government money to get into these, to own homes. So I think that in a lot of these, and that's just one piece, and it's other ideas that you can use, but these areas need incentives, they need investments. And if you don't give these people investments, you will continue to not have people thriving. If you look at these areas of these white people and all of this, and then people will say, well, no, the socialism. Well, white folks have been getting socialism for decades. They was getting loans in the 60s. They was getting incentives to move to the suburbs. And then you had African-American people that could not get loans to become homeowners so when they pass on, they can't pass anything to their children, because you do know the biggest piece of wealth is property, the biggest piece of that. And so the government was giving land, giving money so people to become homeowners, and they able to transfer that wealth to generations, send their kids to college and all of that. But then when African Americans say, okay, we want the same deal y'all gave white folks back in the 60s and the 50s when they would come on, white folks need those same incentives. They need those same incentives because you're dealing with generational neglect. So it needs some massive investments, massive intervention in those communities. And so I have to bring the government part. They're the big player, and they're not the only player, but they're the big player here. And they must be addressed. And a lot of people don't want to address it. And they say, oh, crime. It's a miss. You miss the mark when you continue to say, we need more police. I can understand that if you wasn't investing in police. But most of these places, Dallas, Chicago, Baltimore, New York, their budget in policing in some of these areas, is in the billions. And you're giving these people billions of dollars in a budget. And if you still see crime is not decreasing, then you need to change your strategy of fighting crime. Not only do you need policing, but you need investments. And that is something that I feel that is missing in a lot of these cities that are run. They just say police, new police chief. But they rarely say, okay, let's take a seat here. Let's take $1 billion from the police and let's put $1 billion into investment into this community. Let's do that. Let's put in some money into mental health. Let's put some money into job training. Let's train people in this area how to become a plumber, how to become an electrician, how to become, a mechanic. Let's train. Okay, let's invest. Let me just take $1 billion. And let's train people how to get into computers. Let's train them up all the way from elementary school and high school so when they get into college that they have skills. Even if they say, well, I don't want to go to college, but you got a skill. You know how to fix some pipes. You can go into business for yourself. Well, I don't want to go to college. Well, I didn't already help you get a license to become, a barber. So you got a skill. You can cut hair. I don't want to go to college. We didn't already train you to do hair and you are licensed beautician, and now you can get here. I don't want to go to college. We didn't already give you a skill to become to work in a funeral home. So we must bring those investments in these Black and brown communities. We must do that. And if we do not do that, we will continue to have crime. And so when you look at areas like Plano, Texas and Frisco, Texas, they have a lot of people have good jobs. They are property owners and their income base and their education level is high. So we must have those same areas in Black and brown areas and say, okay, and not just only that, let me broaden this conversation because some of my white brothers and sisters that are listening, because they're suffering as well. And I'm talking about the poor white people, the poor brown and Black people, poor people, period. They need massive investments in their areas. White folks are dealing with a crisis and they don't really want to talk about it, but they're dealing with a crisis in these rural areas, in these towns, that their hospitals are shutting down. Their dentists are shutting down. They can't so if a crisis happens, they have to go 30 to 40 miles to get help. So this is a national crisis that need national ideas, that need national interventions immediately, because people are dying, and this is why the crime is just so up there. And the crime is so high. And to my brothers and sisters that do have money, that is surviving, and I'm saying this to Mr. McCarthy because he may be our next speaker, and this may go viral, and I'm just going to let this off my chest. That's why crime is really high, and we must have these conversations. And also, Congress got to say, okay, you guys, let's study about what's going on with this crime. Let's do a commission of why is crime in these areas. Once we study it, okay, let's develop solutions. Okay, we understand a lot of these people they need to go to college, but they don't want to get in. They don't want to get into that. So let's fund these schools instead of all these failing schools. Let the government and say, okay, let's fund these schools that are failing, that need help, need massive help. Let's train 1 million Black teachers and say, okay, we need you all to work in your neighborhoods. Let's train these people up. And so that is what need to happen. We need that intervention in this in society. But when crime is continued to go up, I don't hear the mayor. I don't hear, they talk, but they're not doing enough. And a lot of these mayors need to get off their behind and call out these financial institutions and be like, listen, y'all getting this money from the city. We got our money in your bank. But what are you doing to invest into Black entrepreneurship? What are you doing to invest in these Black and brown areas? And if you not giving out loans and really putting investment and helping these people in investments, then we need to remove our money to another bank that's willing to do business, that's willing to invest into Black and brown areas. And that definitely need to happen. It needs to be what I call rent control. And I'm going to say this because a lot of people can't afford it. And these are people that are working. I was watching on the news today, and out in Florida, they having a crisis of affordable housing. And it was this man, a single father, got his master's degree, but can't afford to live in a regular apartment. He have to live in affordable housing. Because he can't afford to pay the rent that's out. Mind you, he have a master's degree in environmental science. He works for the state as an inspector, but he have 2 children, but can't afford to pay the rent. He need assistance. This is the reality of a lot of people, and it's not just affecting Black and brown people. I speak to my people because we are hit the hardest, right? I say if we hit the hardest, and that shouldn't be. That shouldn't be if you have a master's degree and you do everything right, but you can't afford to live in a 1-bedroom apartment because they didn't triple the rent. And a lot of this is not because of inflation. A lot of this is because of greed, of corporate greed. I'm a firm believer of capitalism, but we damn sure got to put a cap on the greed that's in this country. Because the greed is outrageous. And people that's greedy and in these power, they use these words. It's the inflation. But it's greed. Greed is this greed that said, okay, I'm going to jack this rent up 16, 17%, 2,000% up. Like, it's nowhere in the world. Your rent is $1,500. And then next thing you know, without notice, when you get ready to renew it, okay, we're going to jack it up another $800. It needs to be rent control in this country. And if you don't have it, you are going to continue. And people, listen to me, Republicans, listen to me, people that got money and live in good, safe areas. Them areas are not going to be safe, because where do you think people are going to go when they want to rob and take your car? And it's already spilling out in Chicago. People are going to these northern areas with hardly no crime, and they're going to commit crime in those areas. Usually it was contained. It's in the hood. It was a contained situation. But now a lot of criminals, they're not just committing crime in their area. They're going out, getting these cars, driving to these good areas, quote unquote, low crime areas, and they're carjacking people. So if you don't contain this problem, it will spread. It's like almost like a disease. If you don't contain it and change and actually give some antibiotics, meaning antibiotics resources, it's going to spill out to your front door. You're going to see these same people robbing you, taking your car, and all of that. Got so bad in Chicago, the CEO of McDonald's, he had to talk about the violence in Chicago. It's so bad in Chicago that the CEO of McDonald's want to remove the headquarters out of Chicago because it's that bad. Because it's not, the violence is not just on the south side. The violence are spilling out downtown. And what's happening with a lot of businesses, they have to leave. And that's in effect is affecting the overall budget of Chicago. And what do they have to do? They have to tax these people that are homeowners, and their tax bills are through the roof. So we must call out Kevin McCarthy if he do become the new speaker. And black people that are Democrats, don't just sit on your behind and say, well, I'm not gonna get involved. I don't like politics. You got to get involved, because when you see your rent jacked up, guess what? That's politics. Because it was a decision made in DC. It was a decision made on the local level, state level, and county level, and say, okay, we're gonna allow these landlords to just jack the rent up, and we ain't gonna say nothing. But if we demand and say, okay, we need to vote people in to say we're gonna regulate, it's gonna be it's gonna be a cap. You cannot just jack the rent up hundreds of dollars. Absolutely not. A rent freeze for the next 10 years. A rent free, you just can't do it. You cannot just jack the rent up like this. Isn't, because people can't live like that. And so that's why we must demand it. Just like Speaker Kevin McCarthy, him right here, we must flood his office with emails, flood his office with phone calls. When he go out to eat, we must say, Mr. Speaker, you need to put a bill on the floor that say rent control, because this is not only happening in New York, it's happening all over the country. These landlords, these people, they are just jacking the rent up, and people can't afford it. And it's not only affecting people that are living check to check, it's a quote unquote affecting the middle class, and meaning that it won't be a middle class, because you're going to have people in homeless shelters that are working good jobs but can't afford to live. That's insane. That shouldn't be. If you work in a job making good money, you graduate from college, and you mean to tell me you got to live in a homeless shelter or live in your car because you can't afford rent? That is a crisis, and it will continue to be a crisis if we don't speak up and demand Kevin McCarthy and demand other people, Nancy Pelosi and all of these other people, Hakeem Jeffries and all of these people that's in office and say, okay, we must have rent control in this country. We have to have it, because if we don't have it, it's going to continue. This crisis is going to get worse and worse and worse. It's sad. You shouldn't have to work. You get a degree. Because in my mind, when you go to college, get you a degree, especially a master's degree, you should be living good. Okay? You should not have a master's degree and living in your car. You got a good job, but that job ain't good enough because you can't afford to live in these areas because they didn't jack the rent up 14, 15, 100%. That's insane. That is insane. So we must have rent control. The rent is too damn high. It is too high. In order to survive, hell, the rate that people are going with this rent, the minimum wage needs to be $35 an hour. The minimum wage needs to be $35 an hour. The way they jack, and I can understand if you want to jack the rent up and then minimum wage, $35 an hour, okay? I can get it. I understand it. But the wages that people are making is not keeping up with the uprising of the rent. It is insulting to say to people, well, get a better job. Hell, I'm making $20-some an hour. Well, how much? Like, come on now. Like, stop it. Address the issue. And the issue is that a lot of these landlords are taking advantage of the working class. And because of their greed, they're continuing to do so. And we must call that out. That's why I call my Congress. That's why I say, hey, what are y'all doing for rent control? I call Senator Ted Cruz office to get tired of me calling. But what are y'all doing about rent control? because it's insulting. Working class, people that work should not have to live in a shelter, not have to live in a car. That is an insult to them. And then it's to Speaker, Mr. Speaker. I don't know. He may be the speaker, or he may not be the speaker. But let's just say he being the speaker. A bill need to be proposed. The minimum wage need to be increased to $20 an hour. I used to say 15, but 15 was about 10 years ago. That would have been decent. But the minimum wage have to be $20 an hour, 20 and up. It have to be 20 and up. Immediately, we need that minimum wage in the 20s and up. That's just the minimum, the base 20. Okay? We need that minimum wage. And it's insulting to have the minimum wage. What's the federal minimum wage rate? Let me see. What's the federal minimum wage? Give me a second. Let me see what the federal minimum wage is in 2023. The federal minimum wage here in this country is $9. Is it $9.50? I'm sorry, I may have been reading that wrong. What is the federal minimum wage? 22. Okay, $7.25. That's insulting. $7.25 is an insult to the American people. That minimum wage needs to be increased to $20 an hour because people cannot afford their rent. Now I know we're gonna get some resistance, and I'm gonna get on the phone and talk to whenever he gets sworn in, the new Congress that gets sworn in. I'm calling them every single day, every Monday through Friday. I'm gonna learn names, I'm gonna write down, and I'm gonna keep telling y'all updates. And I'm gonna want y'all to call in as well and write letters. The same way we go and we reach out to these YouTubers, and y'all call these YouTubers and y'all text these YouTubers, we must apply the same pressure to Kevin McCarthy. And we must apply the same pressure to all Congress people, all senators, because this is a crisis. It's people that are suffering and they're trying to work, trying to make ends meet, but they're getting barred down of high rent. They're getting barred down to high food prices. They're getting barred down to high gas prices. And that's why the minimum wage have to be increased to $20 an hour. In Tennessee, the minimum wage is $8.50. That is an insult. $8.50 was good in the 1950s. We are in 2023. The minimum wage need to be $20 an hour, period, point blank. And it needs to increase $1 every per year. It needs to increase $1 every per year. And that's what it needs to happen because the rent is so increasing so fast. And it's affecting a lot of people. There's no way you can survive on $7.25 unless your rent is $100 a month, unless your rent is $200 a month. There's no way you can afford to work a full-time job with $7.25. You can't survive that way. And $20 a minimum wage, that ain't enough. But that's just the start of what needs to happen. Right? That's just the start. And then increase it $1 per year because that will keep up with the high prices of all this stuff that's increasing. And so we must continue, and I will continue to call on Congress. And then what I'm going to do from this year forward, I'm going to post a picture and say, hey, you guys, I called this senator today. I'll call this congressperson today. I'll write letters. You're going to see me write letters and mail letters to these people. You're going to see me contact the White House. You're going to see me call the White House, send letters. You're going to see me call the NAACP. You're going to see me call the Congressional Black Caucus. And I'm going to keep you all updated of what's going on, who's doing what, who's on what. Because I don't just want to talk about celebrity gossip. Because at the end of the day, that's not going to change the income for my viewers that watch me to change their lives. But me talking about and changing public policy, that changed your personal life. That changed your existence. But me talking about Cardi B and Nicki Minaj, that really ain't going to change or increase your bank account. We must address this because our brothers and sisters and some of my subscribers are struggling because they can't keep up with the high cost of that. We need daycare. Daycare, if you working in this country, daycare should be free. It needs to be paid by the government. And the reason why I say the government should pay for it because the government got their national, their defense budget is in the billions. Why can't we pay for people that work and pay for their daycare expenses? Daycare is too damn high. There's no way you can survive. And if you are a single parent, you just at the bottom of the barrel. Even if you're a two-parent household, you can't keep up with high rent, high daycare expenses, high insurance. We need government intervention, and it definitely needs to happen, because if it don't happen, you will see more people on the street. You will see more people living in their cars. You will see more people get, because they're discouraged, they get into drugs. They're bogged down with so much. It's so much depression. It's so much. It's just so much, because they are taking on so much and they're trying to survive. It is insulting, and that's why we must get involved into this way. And that's why I'm glad I don't have any children, because children are expensive. And whenever I do decide to have children, I want to have two good, two parents, two incomes, or if I take on the burden of having that I'm able to survive and live comfortable. I don't want to live in from check to check. Just, oh my gosh, I'm waiting for the next check. I'm zero. I'm just broke. I don't want to live like that. I want to live comfortable. I want to live a very comfortable life. If I never live a wealthy life, I want to live comfortable, meaning all my bills paid. I'm able to take a trip. I'm able to go to Africa if I want to go to Africa. I'm able to send my kids to the best schools, and I'm able to live comfortable. I want to live comfortable, meaning that if something happens to my car, I can go and fix it without it hurting my bank account. I want to live comfortable. And then because and people say, well, what stopped you from having children? The expensive kids are very expensive. Well, what do you mean kids are expensive? They're so lovely. Yeah, they're lovely, but they're not free. Meaning that everything, when you bring that child in, you're taking on a lifetime commitment. Particularly, you're taking on 18 years worth of bills and beyond. And they're very expensive. It's hard, especially, it's really, really hard. And if you're working in the workforce, you got to have your kids, you got to put them in daycare. Daycare is expensive. So it's very expensive, very, very expensive. They have needs. They have things they have to do. They're very expensive. So no, I'm not going to go out there just having all these type of bills, babies, and accumulating all them type of bills, because my income is not at a level where I can afford not even one child. It's impossible, because I will have to do YouTube and work a regular job just to survive, because of the cost. Because then you got to upgrade to a 2-bedroom, because they need their own room. You know what I'm saying? Your wear and tear on your car, because you're going to be driving more, gas, food, and so they're very expensive. So no, I'm not worried about having kids. I do want to have kids, but I want to be financially stable to have kids and stuff like that. And if I don't have it, that's fine. I have nieces and nephews that I can love on and appreciate, but I don't have to worry about, because kids are very expensive, very, very expensive. I tell my sister all the time, I say, you blessed. She said, what do you mean you blessed? Because you got a mama that's helping you. You have a family that intervene to help you. But if you lose that family support, you're going to understand how hard it is. You have not dealt with that pressure of life yet, because you got mama to pick you up from work. You got mama to pay the bills. You can always quit your job, because mama going to be there and just help you out. But if that leave, you're going to get a rush of a mighty wind of life, because it's challenging. It's a lot of mothers out here and single fathers out here that's dealing with a lot of pressure, because they got to balance the budget, balance the bills, take care of their children, and they're doing it on a limited income, because the expenses are really, really high. And it's affecting people that, are making good money, but they can't live comfortable because of the pressure of mortgage, property taxes increases. And I see this, and not just affecting Black and brown people, but white folks that are quote unquote middle class. I was just watching this on the news, and the lady was talking about in Chicago. She was like, I'm gonna have to move out of my house. I'm gonna have to move out of Chicago, because her property taxes was $1,000, and then it jumped up to about almost $3,000. And then they sent it and then they said, okay, you got to pay that by the end of the month. And they just sent it in the 1st of December, and then you got to pay it by the end of the month. It's like, how can you live? How can you thrive on that when it comes to stuff like that? And a lot of people have to leave their homes and become renters, because the property taxes is so expensive. Because I was studying this, I said, well, why is the property taxes going up? Because a lot of these businesses they're leaving Chicago, and to balance that budget, they have to increase. It's on the backs of the working class. the backs of the property of the homeowners, because a lot of people that owning businesses, they're fleeing Chicago because number one, they got to deal with all that theft. It's hard, it's very expensive to get insurance. The rent is expensive, the taxes is expensive, and the crime. So a lot of these businesses say, wait a minute, I'm gonna leave this crime infested city, and they're leaving downtown because the crime have jumped so high in downtown Chicago. And that used to be a particularly a safe area. So they leave, and then, oh no, we got to balance our budget. What do they go? They go to the homeowners. We got to increase your taxes. And it's very it's very sad. And so that's why I tell people, on my show, I hear a lot of people talk about, what direction you're going to go in your show. Well, the direction I'm going in my show for this year and beyond, but I'm going to focus on real topics. I'm going to talk about celebrity gossip and all of that. I get that. But my passion and things that keep me up at night is crime, and real issues, politics issues. I have to talk about that. So that would keep me up at night. That would keep me reading like, oh, wow. So that is what we're going to have that. And then we will talk about celebrity gossip as well. We're not going to abandon that because that's the bread and butter. Y'all love celebrity, and I love it too. But I said, before I get to the mess, I'm going to talk about why I got your attention. I'm going to talk about social issues, politics, what's affecting us, letting y'all know what's going on. And I'm more so getting involved. Okay, what's going on in Dallas? Okay, the mayor, what are you doing? And I'm interested to know what's going on here in Dallas. And then every time I keep Googling and looking at stuff, I say, oh, this city, it's if they're not careful. And I told it to a police officer a couple of years ago. I said, if you all do not make massive investments in this city, it will be Chicago 2.0. It will be Chicago 2.0. And meaning that if you don't invest in these communities, if people are not willing to invest in these communities, Dallas will be Chicago 2.0, and it will be worse than Chicago. And you said, why do you say it would be worse than Chicago? Because it's more space here in Texas, meaning it's going to be more crime. And in a lot of these low income areas, you're getting all these people in, no money, no resources, and all of this stuff, and not really giving, investments in these communities, is going to be worse than Chicago. And if y'all don't handle it. And so what I predicted is pretty much coming true. The crime in a lot of these areas in Dallas is increasing. And I told this to some officers a couple of years ago, and they were talking about, how they're not getting paid fairly, and how they go to Plano, they go to Frisco because the money, and it's less stress, and the money is good. And so now you're dealing with a lot of crime, here in Texas. And so they don't really want to broadcast it because it's one thing about it, they don't broadcast it enough, but it's happening here in Dallas, and especially in those areas. And if they don't get it together, it's going to spill out in a lot of areas. So I definitely had to talk about that. I had to. So it's so much. Again, Kevin McCarthy, he may be the new Speaker of the House. And while he's the new Speaker of the House, we must continue to press the gas and be like, okay, Mr. Speaker, this is what our community need. And so I would love to interview the Speaker of the House, and to have a conversation with Speaker Kevin McCarthy. And I just don't want to just focus on, what do you think about Trump, his taxes? Like, that's beyond me. Like, come on now. I want to focus on, what are you going to do about increasing the minimum wage? And I want to ask Mr. Speaker, do you think that it's an insult to have the minimum wage at $7.25? Let me make sure I get the right. I'm going to have my notes. Having a minimum wage at $7.25. Do you think that's insulting to the American working class? What do you think that the minimum wage should be increased? And if so, what is the number you think the minimum wage should be increased? What do you think about, a lot of areas, Florida, Chicago, Texas, California, New York, so many of these areas have high rent. What are you doing under your leadership to what bills are being proposed to help combat this high rent cost. And we need to ask these tough questions because a lot of the media, they just so fascinated with Trump. Oh, Trump, 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 Trump. And we have real issues that need to be addressed other than Trump. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right. So, they said keep growing, keep growing. Thank you all for the super chat. I'm gonna sing the song like after end. So thank you for the super chat. Thank you so very much. You said keep growing, keep up the greatness, Wiley. That was Carmen Cutie. Thank you so very much for the super chat. All right, so that was the conversation that I had into these issues. Let me get into the topic. We've been on here for an hour. I was waiting on the phone to charge up. They said I'm going to continue to hear this, understand this, and talk about this. And I just want to say this again for the people who are joining in. We have to get involved into this. And then you, as a subscriber, go to these YouTubers and say, y'all see how y'all rush to the courthouse to talk about Tory Lanez. Let's have that same energy to rush to the White House and ask the president these tough issues. You see how the black YouTubers came together and they just report every little thing about Tory Lanez. Well, Tory Lanez did this, and Tory Lanez did this, and Tory Lanez did this, and Tory Lanez is Megan Thee Stallion. She had 2 fragments and she killed it. Blah, blah, blah. Can y'all use that same energy into talking about politics? I remember one time, and I'm gonna talk about some YouTubers in this. I remember the pandemic happened, and Armand said, "I ain't into politics, man. I ain't into politics. Politics ain't my thing." And so the pandemic hit, and so he wanted to go out shopping. I think he wanted to get something. He said, "Oh my gosh, this went on, and what's going on? Girl, I'm gagging. I'm trying to get this, and stuff is closed. And what are we gonna do?" Like I said, that's all politics. That's government regulations. How is the government? And then now he had no choice. Or what is Governor Newsom is talking about? You have to talk about these things because it affects your daily life. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I get it. We all want to be entertained. I get it. But we must talk about these real issues. We have to talk about these real issues because this is what's affecting not only you, but it's affecting your viewers and it's affecting your bottom line. Because let's be clear, if I advocate and they increase the minimum wage and they do rent control, that opens up the pockets. That increases the pockets of the subscribers. Then they can give more to the Wiley Show. They can give more to these black YouTubers. They can fund more because you have more money to spend and invest into what you watch. You know what I'm saying? So if the minimum wage increase and then you get rent control, you may have a couple of $1,000s where you could give a $10,000 donation to the Wiley Show because now you have the resources. Because I'm on the front lines advocating for you to get more money. It's going to affect my bottom line because now you have more money to invest into the Wiley Show. So it's a win-win situation. So I don't want to have to hear, I can't give to you, Wiley, because I'm going through. No, I need to say, okay, let me get on the front lines and advocate for, economic justice so you can give and buy T-shirts and mugs and everything else to help your dollar line so you can give a $50,000 donation to the Wiley Show. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. It's a win-win. Let me get on the front lines. Let me advocate so to make you get more money in your pocketbook so you can give more to invest more into this show. And then I can invest in higher employees and that dollar can just circulate. That's how I look at it. And so, yes, I will talk about resources and I can talk about all of these type of things. And I'm just not going to be stuck on being a Democrat. I'm talking about Kevin McCarthy because he's in power right now in the House. And so that's a part of our government. So whoever the president is, we must call them out and say and demand justice. It could be Trump, it could be Hillary Clinton, whoever is in the White House. Now we got Joe Biden. So now my focus is on President Joe Biden. And now my focus is Kevin McCarthy because he is he may be the new speaker. My focus is on Chuck Schumer because he is the head of the Senate. So my focus is on these key power players. Who got the power? My focus is on those that have the power. I don't care what if you're a Republican or if you're a Democrat. My focus is you still gonna get this same smoke whether you're a Democrat or whether you're a Republican. It is what it is. Okay, I'm not really focused on Trump because Trump is not in power. I'm not focused on President Obama, because President Obama is not in power. Whoever's in power, they need the smoke on national level, local level, and federal level. All right. Now, do I think Trump is entertaining? Yes. But did Trump do some effed up ish? Oh, yes, he did. Because one of the things that Trump did, not gonna really get on it, but when he passed and allowed that tax cut for the wealthy and for the corporations, it didn't trickle down to the regular paying people, the regular working class. They didn't get an increase in their hourly wages. A lot of those people, what they did, we're gonna use this extra money we get and we're gonna buy back stocks. And in return, we're gonna make ourselves richer. We're gonna increase our salaries. It didn't trickle down to the regular working Joe, the Pookie and Ray Ray and them for their hourly salaries. No, it didn't trickle down to those people. So it was good for the wealthy. Well, Trump was in good business. If you're wealthy, he's good for the wealthy people because it helps his bottom line. But for the average working class America, it didn't help them. It hurt them in the long run. So I have to talk about these things. Mm-hmm. And we have to talk about whether you're a Republican or whether you are a Democrat. Okay, I'm still watching it right there. They're still over there. So we're gonna see how this is gonna go. And this ain't gonna be the first time you see Kevin McCarthy on the show, because we're gonna try to get him on the show, right, producers? I'm not gonna give him a voice, so we're gonna send him an email. I got a person that edits all my emails. He's definitely on the email. He definitely is on the email list, and we will be sending Kevin McCarthy an email. All right, we will be sending Nancy Pelosi an email, Hakeem Jeffries an email, and every senator, congressperson, we're gonna be sending them emails and everything like that. I'm gonna be so good with it because I'm gonna know their name. Yeah, I talked to Sister Barbara, I talked to brothers. I'm gonna say names and put pictures so you can see me doing the work. And then not just on the federal level, you're gonna see me talk on the city council level. Like I'm right now Googling and learning the system about City Hall. You're gonna see me with my phone in the City Hall meeting. You're gonna see that. It's gonna happen, like, because it have to happen. And I don't want to be an African American that say, okay, all of these issues, but I'm into solutions. And I want to be part of the solution to say, hey, let me put my resources on and use my show and calling out those in power and educating the people that watch me and say, hey, this is how we're going to have the changes in this country. We can have the changes in this country. And we're going to continue to have, we're going to be calling people names. We're going to say, we talk to this person, we're going to have a meeting, and you're going to see a shift, in the show. And they're going to put some respect when they see me coming with my hundreds of people. And, it may start out with just me, but if people going to start investing and typing into what we're doing, they're going to be like, oh, we need to take this call with Mr. Wiley because he's going to drag us. The way I drag these YouTubers, you ain't seen nothing yet. Like I'm gonna drag these politicians that ain't doing right for Black and brown people. And my main question is, what is your Black agenda? Even to Black candidates, I'm gonna be very hard on Black politicians. I'm like, what are you doing for Black and brown folks first? That's always on my mind, because the reason why I always say Black and brown, Black, because I'm Black first. They are my top priority. I sleep Black, think Black. They're my top priority because we have been the most neglected in this entire country. So I have to talk. What is your Black? What's your Black agenda? And you have to bring these questions up. They might tap dance around it, but you got to continue to ask these hard questions. What is your agenda? What are you doing for reparations? What about these banks that are not, giving loans to Black and brown people? What, you got to keep bringing it up, and you got to make it sexy, because if you keep talking about it, then people will be like, okay, I like this. He asks about the Black agenda, and go to these people offices. You're going to see that as well. So as I'm hard. So in Texas, it's a Republican, as they say, Republican. Dallas is pretty much run by Democrats. I don't give a damn what your political affiliation is. What are you doing for Black and brown people? That is my top priority. Okay. So Thank you so very much for the super chats. Thank y'all so very much for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for the super chat. That was Bonnie. Thank you for the super chat. Thank y'all for the super chat. So we're gonna shift gears here. I just have to talk about Kevin McCarthy, and I know his name. And see, when I get to know your name, it's hard for me to stop saying Kevin McCarthy. Like Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, he may be the new speaker. He having a hard time. He's going to be a weak speaker. And let me say this about Kevin McCarthy: if you can't get your people in line to vote for you to become speaker, if you got to run through all these hoops to dilute your power, you're going to be a weak speaker. You know what I'm saying? A speaker, in my opinion, should be ruthless, meaning that you know how to control your people. And that's one thing I like about Nancy Pelosi. You can say whatever, but that chick she ain't play no games. She had them in line. And she, you know what I'm saying? So if you having a hard time getting your people to vote for you, then maybe you shouldn't be speaker, in my humble opinion. So we're going to see about that. I'm going to keep y'all updated about that. They said sources, McCarthy raises voice, swears inside of a heated GOP meeting. It's sad. Like, you got to cuss people out and stuff like that. I'm just seeing that on CNN. It's really sad. You got to cuss. You can't even control your people. And so if you can't get your people in order, that just, I can't, get it together. Like, he's cussing, and these Republicans, they are doing, because anytime you get a slim majority, people they start to, okay, it's a slim majority, I'm gonna act a fool, I'm not gonna cry, it's a no, because they get all of this media attention. The same thing when it came to the senators, when they had that 50-50, you had Senator Manchin, it was two senators that was just, I ain't gonna vote for this. I ain't doing this. I ain't working. Like, they was just, anything that Biden tried to pass or try to work for, it took about one or two senators, came out and just trying to derail policy in the Senate. So when you have those slim neck to tie on, you give people that don't want to cooperate, you give them more power, they get more media attention when it comes to that. That's why when you win the House, you need to have more people in there, so you can have more leeway to get more votes. It shouldn't be, you need 6 people, because them 6 people are going to be, they're gonna really play games. Yes, Cinema and Senator Manchin. Yes. So that's how that goes. So again, for you guys, today a lot of people new Congress are getting sworn in office, and Kevin McCarthy is trying to get people to vote for him. So he's cussing people out, and he looked like he a cusser, and so we are seeing how that's going to play about. Okay. So we're going to see how that's going to play about. All right. So let's get into other news here. I've been on here for an hour. Somebody said, Roland Martin said you are not a real journalist. Roland Martin said, I'm not a journalist. I concur with that. Can I say the word concur? I think that's the right word. I'm not a journalist, right? I am, number one, I'm an American. Number 2, I'm a taxpayer. Number 3, I'm an uncle. Number 4, I'm an entrepreneur. Number 5, it's so many other things that I have. He said I'm not a journalist. Did I go to school to become a journalist? No. But does that mean I have to sit on the sidelines and not speak up for my people? No, I'm going to speak up. You know what I'm saying? I may not be a traditional journalist, going to school and get a degree and all of that, but I have a platform. So I'm not going to allow people to tell me what I'm not, and then I'm just going to sit down or on the platform saying I'm not a real journalist and stuff like that. He ain't got a neck. So should I say, you ain't got a neck, so you shouldn't do commentary? No, you could do commentary with no neck. You can just be up there and just talk about. So, you are obese. I don't think, what if a person say you shouldn't be obese to do media, but yet you're still going to do media as an obese person with no neck. So saying that I'm not a journalist is not going to discourage me, and you have a right to still do commentary with no neck and being obese. So I'm going to still do commentary. I'm not going to stop doing commentary. I never seen nobody. I'm still gonna do commentary. Now I can read. I was about to go in, but no, I respect Mr. Roland Martin. I brought the man book, and not only that, I brought the man book, and other people bought the book as well off my recommendation. I put money in his pockets. We invest in Roland Martin Unfiltered, and so I will continue because he's a very educated brother. He's one of the teachers that I do look up to. I look up to Roland Martin. A lot of my skill set from the things that I've learned most of it, a lot of it from Roland Martin. I've been listening to that brother since I was in my 20s, and when he had that show before it got canceled, News One Now, I would wake up in the morning to watch News One Now. I would record News One Now on my DVR. Y'all remember DVR? And before it got canceled. So again, I will continue to talk about myself. I'm not going to burn the book because I'm not crazy. I'm not burning something that I bought. You know what I'm saying? This book is too powerful to burn because it will educate you on it. I will continue to give it free promotion because again, I love the fact that he wrote this book because it taught me some things in this book. Like it's something I didn't know. Just speaking about this book, that Governor was that? I'm sorry, what was the president in the 80s? President Ronald Reagan. He put out this whole thing about the welfare queen, like this black woman got all of this welfare, she got all this money, and it was a lie. And so I learned that out in this book. I learned in this book that, Harold Washington, he came into power, but it was so much resistance from white Democrats from his own party that didn't want to vote for him because he was black. So I will continue to support this book and read this book. I will continue to, read it because it's very good. So I'm going to continue to put respect on his show. I will continue to put respect on the show, and a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to it. So he's one of the greatest teachers and journalists of our time because he do speak truth to power. And I love the fact how he have a show and he invested in Roland Martin Unfiltered, and he have black people hired, and he hired black people to lighting companies. He had black artists using their artwork and all of that. So I have to put respect on Roland Martin name because out of all the journalists that I watch, I watch him, and I love the fact he said, okay, these mainstream media is talking about the same thing, and they're not really putting focus on black and brown stories. So let me create my own show. And a lot of people don't understand when TV One, when they canceled News One Now, they offer him a contract, a very great contract, a lot of money, and Roland Martin turned it down and said, no, I'm not just going to stay on this network and not do nothing. I'm going to use the money that I have and invest in my company and start my own show, start my own network. Another thing that Roland Martin did, he actually traveled the country and interviewed a lot of Dr. King people in his inner circle. He interviewed a lot of people. Even he interviewed, I forgot, I think it's Dorothy Cotton, I believe her name was. She was one of Dr. King, one of the only women in his inner circle, but a top advisor. He interviewed her in a nursing home. So, Roland have done a lot of good in his show, and like I said, his election coverage of covering the election is doing really, really good. A lot of mainstream sites are streaming on YouTube because they seen how successful Roland Martin have been doing. A lot of TV One, BET, the Griot, all these sites were covering the election, and his coverage had got the most views. So we got to put some respect to Roland Martin. Now, did he lie and said I'm not? He's a real journalist? No, he put some respect, and I must respect this man. Live and breathe being a journalist. His knowledge is up there. He covered county government, local government, federal government. He covered all types of government. He worked in worked in so many black newspapers. He was an editor. He was in charge of before they went away. He was in charge of Damn, that newspaper that was in Chicago. Can't think of the name, but before they went away. So he done a lot of the Chicago Defender. So he have done a lot of great things, and we must put some respect on Roland Martin. Did I feel some type of way when he came at me? Yes, I did. But again, I will put respect uh uh you know on his name. Right. I'm just saying, and I have to put respect on his age. He's a mentor. He's older than me, and he's a mentor. He's a teacher, and I will continue to look up to Roland, and I love him. And I just didn't like when he said I wasn't a real journalist. That was a little like, but I respect him. I respect him. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect, but we definitely respect him. All right, so. Let's go to the other topic here. Nique at Nite interview. She was on RKelly, documentary, and let me make sure I post that up there because a lot of y'all, the surviving RKelly documentary, and I was like, they got another documentary of surviving RKelly. Like, how many documentaries are they gonna have of this man? Because they had the surviving RKelly. Yeah, part 1, part 2. Now it's RKelly, the final chapter. I'm like, they trying to milk this for all that it had. And I'm like, what the world is going on? They gonna try to milk this for everything they got about RKelly. And I'm like, I'm minding my own business, but I see it. Give me a second. I'm gonna put the picture up there so y'all know what we talking about. Of RKelly, because y'all say y'all want the picture up there. So give me a second while I put it up here so y'all can see it about RKelly because Nique at Nite, and we have her up here because Nique at Nite was featured on this documentary. So we definitely want to put some respect. I actually talked to her last night, and we talked last night, and I told her congratulations for being featured on RKelly documentary because she interviewed the guy that threatened the surviving RKelly back in 2019 when they had that shown in the theaters. He actually called and threatened a threat, and they had to shut it down. And they found out that it was him. But he did an interview with Nique at Nite, and he said, I did not do that. But in reality, they had evidence that he did do it. So I'm just watching this documentary, and mind you, I am a huge fan of RKelly. I'm a huge fan of his music. When I say huge fan, I'm a huge fan. With that being said, he is a predator, right? I don't have to say allegedly. The man is sitting in prison because he preyed on young black women and boys, because some of them were boys. He preyed on them. He had these people eating their own feces. He had them drinking his urine. He had these people, he gave them STDs. So all of this stuff. So though I am a fan of his music and I will continue to listen to his music, what he did to those young women, and some of them were teenagers and some of them were boys, was wrong. He was a predator. But because he was successful, because he had money, he was able to to really thrive in the music industry for 3 decades. And one of the reporters that used to work for the newspaper in Chicago, he wrote a book about RKelly, and he said the reason why RKelly is getting justice now is because he's broke. If RKelly still had the money and resources that he had back in the 90s and the 2000s, I don't think he would have gotten justice because those enablers would have still was able to protect him. But because when the money ran out, that's when you seeing people decide to cooperate with the federal authorities. Okay, and that's including some of the parents. And so when I was listening to Nique at Nite when she was interviewing, let me make sure I get the man's name who she was interviewing. Give me a second. When she was interviewing the guy, Don Russell, He said once the money ran out, a lot of these people started to work with the federal authorities. But that's where you see a lot of them speaking out. If the money was still, if they were still on his payroll, if they were still getting paid on salaries and stuff like that, you want to see these people speaking out the way that they did. And it's really sad. And then one of the parents that I was watching, their car was set on fire. And the publicist's cousin or somebody who was related to one of R. Kelly inner circle really put the car on fire. And he's literally he's been sentenced about 8 years in prison. So it's a lot of the enablers. And I feel like it's a system. And the more you investigate, R. Kelly is just a part of the predators in the industry. And Amanda Seales said something. She said, if you really Me Too the people in the music industry, it won't be a music industry. And that's the truth. It's a lot of R. Kellys in the music industries. It's a lot of R. Kellys that are there, and you don't hear them getting justice because they still got money. They're still profiting off of this. They're still thriving. And the reason why R. Kelly became vulnerable because the money ran out. And a lot of people started to talk and started to cooperate with the people. When it comes to the entertainment industry, it's a lot of that destruction in the entertainment community as well as the music community. This ain't gonna be the first time or the last time. It just took decades to get justice for R. Kelly. It should have stopped in 1991 when the first accuser came and spoke out. But of course, a lot of people is not going to do it. One of his enablers was a black heavyset woman, overweight woman. She was there at the courthouse every day, and she had the other girl, Jocelyn Savage, and she said, "I got your daughter. I know where she at. I ain't telling you where she at." And it's just so sad that you still have people that are the enablers still dedicated to R. Kelly. Some of the founders of Mute R. Kelly, they were saying it was some women that should have been at home taking care of their children, middle-aged women, and they are drawing on the concrete saying, "Free R. Kelly, we love R. Kelly, he's innocent." And these ain't like a lot of young women. These are middle-aged women, but I understand it because in society, we are so controlled, indoctrinated by a lot of celebrity culture. And this country is addicted to celebrities. So I'm not shocked. You still have a lot of, it was a caller that used to call in my show. She was one of the top leading R. Kelly publicists. I gave her a nickname and I call her the R. Kelly publicist. This lady will take over the Wiley Show and she will talk about R. Kelly and R. Kelly is innocent. R. Kelly didn't do it. The parents and R. Kelly is innocent. R. Kelly didn't do that. I read the transcript. Wiley, you need to read the transcript. R. Kelly. And it's another YouTuber. I'm not going to say her name. She got into a fight with somebody in the court and got arrested. She got into a fight and they arrested her in Chicago. And she came on her platform crying, saying, R. Kelly is innocent. He didn't do this. They taking a black man down. I mean, a middle-aged black woman. And I said, sis, you need to stop doing that crime. He did that. He's guilty. Right? So I'm like, what you doing all that? And on her platform crying for R. Kelly, saying that he's innocent. This woman spent her money to travel to go to the trial, and she went on her platform crying, talking about R. Kelly is innocent. So it's a lot of people that believe that, and a lot of people did not want to counsel R. Kelly due to historical how black men have been mistreated in the justice system, and then some didn't want to counsel him because he does favorite celebrity, he's music, and they're definitely not going to do that. You know, they're not going to do that. It was one particular woman when R. Kelly was in jail the first time, she bailed him out, and she was a business owner. So a lot of people are doing that when they get involved into this situation. But again, I think that R. Kelly, not only he should be in prison, but his enablers, his managers, being it, that assistant that came on there, she booked the flights, she booked the hotels. The young women had to text her and say, "Can I use the restroom?" Or text her, I'm hungry. Can you buy me some food? And when you book a flight, you have to have their birthday. She need to be in a prison cell. All of those enablers need to be in a prison cell, because it wasn't just R. Kelly. R. Kelly wasn't that smart. He couldn't read or write. So it was other people doing his dirty work. They need to be in jail, in prison as well. The entire enablers need to go to prison, and they need to be in a prison cell. Unfortunately, I don't think that will happen because they were so involved and so invested in R. Kelly. But I do believe that R. Kelly, those enablers need to be in prison. Another thing that we learned in this whole entire situation, that R. Kelly, it was a young woman. I don't know, y'all know these people's name, but in the first trial, she was about 15 or 16 years old. She met R. Kelly during the first trial. And so one of his managers found her on MySpace and said, "Come to R. Kelly, come to a party." And he said, "How old are you?" I think she said, "I'm 15 or 16." He said, "But just tell everybody you 19 years old." And they was by themselves. And she was like, "Oh no, I can't." He started fumbling with her breasts. And she was like, "I can't do this. I'm a virgin." Yeah. Joanna Pace, thank you. "I'm a virgin. I can't do this." So R. Kelly bent her over and hit it from the back. So this is really sad. It's really sad. A minor bent her over and hit it from the back. So it's just so sad and sick. And the most sickest thing I've seen what R. Kelly did, giving him the whole thing with STD, but having him eat his feces and urine and all that. And I must put credit on Tasha K, because Tasha K reported on R. Kelly and everything about R. Kelly did it. The sad part about it, they did not credit Tasha K. You know what I'm saying? Nique and Nite pretty much stole the exclusive from Tasha and all that. I think I had a conversation with Tasha last night. She said the reason why she got the exclusive because Nique and I be on the phone with R. Kelly. And I'm like, "Is that true?" She said, "Yeah, they be on the phone with each other." I said, "Oh, okay." Wow, that's shocking that she be on the phone with these people and communicate with Mr. Kelly, and that's why she was able to interview, the whole the guy that came on her show, because she got on the phone with R. Kelly. R. Kelly sent the other guy on the platform to come on the show. And I said, "Wow, that's something." And she said, "Yeah, she be on the phone with R. Kelly for prison, be calling her." And that's how she got, that exclusive, because I had to do my due diligence and saying, "How do you feel? Why didn't you get and get that exclusive with the young man? I mean, not the middle-aged guy, Don Russell." He said, "Yeah, Wiley, because she be on the phone with R. Kelly and all of that." So I don't know how true it is. That's what Tasha K said. So you got to take that with a grain of salt. That's what she told me. And of course, I just took my notes down, wrote my notes and all of that. And so I was able to call her and talked to her last night, and she said, "Yeah, because she be on the phone with Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly and all of that." So I don't know how true that is, but I'm like, it's some type of way, because how did she know to reach out to that man of all of that? And she said she was on the phone with R. Kelly. So that's just how that goes. And I don't know. And stuff like that. I had to do my due diligence. I'm like, "Well, why, you have R. Kelly exclusive. Why you didn't do it?" "Oh, because she be on the phone with R. Kelly, and R. Kelly said, go ahead and interview, the guy, and he must have verified it with Mr. Kelly." This according to Tasha, and he was like, "Yeah, you can go on her platform because I talked to her on the phone." So it is what it is. That's just how that goes. So I'm going to drop the link. I don't know if anybody want to call in, because we've been on here for an hour and 33 minutes when it came to that. A lot of women are indoctrinated with people that hit people in prison. You even had one of the employees reached out to Von Ray, sent her a letter. Von Ray got out of prison, gave her some prison D. So, that just a lot of women get indoctrinated when people in prison. They get on the phone. He said, you have a channel. You trying to go your channel and all of that. You get on the phone. He starts singing. You all of that. "I believe I can fly." Oh, you can sing so much. Get on the phone. And all these women get all wet and moist. And they do all type of stuff. So that's just how that goes. And she get on the phone and all that. You got on no pajamas and probably send them a pair of your panties. Who Who knows? Some of your pajamas, I don't know. But that's how that goes. And so when I talked to her, she said, yeah, she was on the phone with RKelly. And I said, wow, okay. So that's just how that goes. I'm not shocked. You know what I'm saying? And all of that, and not shocked at all. Give me a second. I'm gonna open up the phone lines. I don't know if anybody want to call in because you send your pajamas, you oil yourself up, and already chocolate. So that's just how that goes. I'm just keeping it real. Selling lingerie and all that. Send them a copy of your of your your lingerie and stuff like that. Put some little juice on it, a little stain on it, and you get anything from RKelly. So so that's just how that goes. And I'm not. So that's when I talked to Tasha K. That's what she said. So we talked to her last night, and we will continue to talk to people and call them and get them to come about and to talk about it. So yeah. So he said in the prison cell, I don't think he's going to get out because they got him. I think this time the federal prosecutors, he ain't gonna get no overturn. All right, on no new trial. All right, the number is 972-674-9462. If you want to call in, you can call in. I'll drop the link. She's going to be his first when he get out. Oh, he gonna be an old man by then. So yeah. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah. So that's just how to go. And I've talked to people that was in jail and prison. A lot of women, like I talked to Von Ray. He said when he got out of jail, the employee booked the hotel, and he said he screwed her that day. And he said she was never my girlfriend. I just needed a place to stay, and I just gave her some D because she was writing me and calling me, and I gave her some D in the hotel. And that's what really happened to our relationship. I said, wow. And the way that he said it, now he didn't want me to leak it and everything like that. I heard that the employee trying to get the courts involved. I don't know. I said, you want to get the courts involved? I'm not involved with stuff like that. I'm not going to be involved with stuff like that. I'm not testifying unless I get subpoena from the court to testify to give my reason, but I'm not going to get involved unless I get subpoena from the court, and they will have to send me a subpoena and stuff like that to talk about it because I have to do my job. I'm media, and this is a free country. Unless I get subpoena from the courts, then I speak. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Wiley Show.
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Hello.
Welcome. This
Good
Wiley.
morning. How are you?
Doing all right.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you read the transcripts, and where are you getting your information from?
You said the transcripts. I've read the
transcripts from RKelly.
I read the transcripts in a documentary. I believe that
the documentary is live.
I look at ma'am. How old are you?
Let me ask you something. When you read the document, what did you see?
I read the documents that he had his victims eat boo-boo. I read the documents he had the people drinking his urine.
I didn't say that. No. I'm talking about the transcript.
That was in the transcript that they talked about what happened, ma'am. I read the transcript that they ate their own boo-boo and they drank his urine. That was in the transcript.
Let me ask you something. So you're saying that's what was in the transcript?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me ask you something else. You said that the lady beat one of the RKelly supporters beat up a woman or something like that, and that was to be true.
That's true. One of the supporters, one of the YouTubers got into an altercation and got arrested. That's a fact. It was in the news. Another one of the YouTubers that was in the room was cussing out one of the parents of the victims. So this situation, I just want to understand, how old are you, ma'am? You're an RKelly supporter?
This is what I am. I go by the law, and I am an R. Kelly supporter.
So you think R. Kelly is innocent?
Yeah, because I'm listening to you, and I'm not being disrespectful or anything, but I'm listening to what you're saying, and everything that you've said is a total, complete lie. And so, that's why I was asking you, did you follow the trial?
I followed the trial, ma'am. He was guilty.
You know what's sad to me? It's sad that Black people would condemn, would follow white media. And I was one of the ones at the courthouse, just so you know, I was there. So everything, and it's funny to me that you guys, I see what you guys do, and you do for clicks and views. And it's very sad that you would take this and make it out of a joke. None of this is funny. This is a damn shame that y'all don't know what white people have done to our people for ages, but you guys are not. You guys are the only people that would condemn your own people without fast-checking anything, and it's sad.
And then one of his lawyers
said, and I'm gonna hang it up.
I want to say, ma'am, the jury said guilty, right? Guilty. And then another thing that R. Kelly made a mistake. He fired his first defense team, and he hired a new defense team. And one of the only women on, I don't know why, but I said the only women on the defense team were talking in her opening statements and said, "You must find Mr. R. Kelly." Hold on one second. You must find him guilty. And then she said, "Oh, not guilty." Like, what kind of lawyer make that mistake? That is sad.
You know why? You know why a lawyer did that? I'm gonna tell you why. Because all them lawyers were against him. So they were never for him. And if you don't comprehend the law, which most Black people don't even know their rights, this has nothing to do with grown-ass women who want to mess around with men. Language. But let's get this straight. All those relationships, do you understand they weren't all at once? And those were somewhere when he was in his 20s and 30s. Did you know that? It's a lot of, because I'm listening to you and what you're saying. I don't think that you have read the in black and white. I don't think that you read the transcript, because basically a lot of stuff that you're saying is just crazy. And I don't understand how a bunch of Black people, y'all to stick together, because in reality, this has nothing to do with R. Kelly. This has nothing. And do you know what he got convicted of? Was it y'all calling this man a pedophile? It wasn't even that. So you really need
it was racketeering. It was a criminal. It was hold on, man. It was a racketeering because it was a criminal, because it was a criminal enterprise. They charged him the same thing.
That's not what. Okay, so let me ask you this. You're saying it was a criminal enterprise.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you saying okay, so you're saying that's what he got convicted of?
It wasn't racketeering. Is I'm wrong? It wasn't not racketeering.
Okay, so if you get convicted of racketeering, isn't that more than one person?
But again, what I'm saying, not only that, it's talking about how he flew girls in from out of town and straight state lines. It's human trafficking, ma'am.
No, it's not. Do you know that most celebrities do the same damn thing? And so what you're saying is,
we're not talking about most celebrities. We're talking about Robert Sylvester Kelly.
Because in the whole, this is a whole. You said this man was racketeering, correct?
That's what
he was charged for, right?
That's what they.
So, do you know that his other case in Chicago, they found that not to be true? Did you know that?
I'm not worried about Chicago. Chicago is we. I'm talking about the federal. I'm talking about in the federal court in New York. He was found guilty.
The same people, listen. The same people that they said he was that was helping him racketeering charges. Guess what? In Chicago, they were found. There was no racketeering. So what are you talking about? And once this appeal, it's gonna, just like Bill Cosby. You guys better know your first and second and third. Y'all better know your amendment laws. And
Bill Cosby is different, ma'am. Bill Cosby is different. Bill Cosby situation are different because the prosecutor had a deal. Let me explain it to you, because Bill Cosby had a deal with the prosecutor and said that we're not going to prosecute you, but you can settle this out in civil court. But we're not going to prosecute you criminally. And that was the reason he was let go, because of that deal he had with the original prosecutor of that case. So that is different than RKelly. RKelly did not have that deal.
Do you believe that it's okay? You're a man. Do you believe that it's okay for a shit to come back to you 50 and 60 and 30 years later? Do you think that's okay?
If I did a crime in my 20s and taking advantage of underage women and having them doing demonic things and all of that, I don't care if I'm 55 or 60s, I need to get paid back for the crime that I did. So for RKelly, he's not exempt. He did the crime. That brother must do the time.
What crime did he do? Because you keep throwing out underage
He
children.
flew in underage teenagers, one teenager that he actually, and then also not only that, he gave some of these women herpes. Did you hear that? Did you hear what the doctor? Did you hear when the doctor said he did have herpes and that he told Mr. Kelly, and then he told Mr. Kelly, you should use protection. And RKelly said, quote, you want me to put a hood on it? And he never did. So
you gotta laugh at what you just said, but I'm gonna let that slide because that's not true. So let me ask you this.
So none of that is true.
It's not true. As far as the herpes is concerned, did you say, remember that the girl Faith, the one that claims that he gave her herpes? You do know that the mother came out a couple of months ago and said, he never gave my daughter herpes. He tried to. Now, do you know that none of those girls were tested? Do you know that his medical came back negative? You do know that, right?
No, ma'am, it did not. No, ma'am.
Because what you need to do before you have this platform, and I see what's going on.
Ma'am, you're defending a predator. Would you let RKelly babysit your daughter?
Hell yeah. You know why? It's something called just like if I trust you, it's something called common damn sense.
So you would let RKelly, the man that married Aaliyah when she was a hold on, ma'am, a man that married Aaliyah when she was a teenager, you allow your teenage daughter, you allow RKelly to babysit your teenage daughter? Wow.
Let me ask you this. Teenager, when you say teenager, my uncles, my cousins have babysit my teenage daughter. Nothing happened.
I'm not talking about your uncles. They're not on trial here. I'm talking about Robert Sylvester Kelly. So you will allow your teenager to be under the guidance or be babysitted by a predator? Ma'am, I speak to your shame.
I'm not going to, by any predator, no. I don't consider him to be a predator. So do you know what a predator is? A predator
RKelly
seeks out young kids like under 13. You got
RKelly, a predator, not just under 13. A predator can be people that are, it ain't just under 13, 15, 16, anybody that's underage that cannot give legal consent. That is a predator. When you having people to eat their boo-boo and urine, that is a predator. Marrying Aaliyah at a young age that was not old enough to marry, that is a predator, man, whether you want to admit it or not.
Do you know that in real life, 13-year-olds get married, their mother constipates them? You do know that, right?
Man, we're not talking about that. We are talking about breaking the law. You breaking the law. What he did with Aaliyah was illegal.
But let me ask you something. Did her parents come out and say this? Is she here to speak for herself?
It was evidence and proof, and other people said that RKelly got married with Aaliyah. That's proof. Proof is there. Is she have been named in court because of that? Did they name her Jane Doe too, or something? They did bring up Aaliyah. You was in the courtroom. They brought her up.
Do you know that do you know how many men are in prison for lies? You do know that, right?
RKelly is not one of them.
Now, let me ask you something. You do know that our men, plenty of our men are locked up in jail for shit they did not do.
RKelly is not one of those men.
In a hole, you do know that, right?
I hear your point, but RKelly is not one of those men.
you to look. Can you explain to me in your definition what a pedophile is? Because I'm
R.
going
Kelly.
to look at it.
R. Kelly preyed on young black and brown women and also young boys because he preyed on them as well.
You know that's a lie, right?
That's not a lie. That's not a lie. That's in the court documents, ma'am. If you claim you was in the courthouse.
Oh my God! You know what? This is so funny. This is hilarious.
How's that hilarious? Being preyed upon is not hilarious, ma'am.
It is. It's not. You people are joking. I want to know, how old are you?
Ma'am, I am 32 years old.
That's the problem. But you know,
ma'am, how old are you? How old are you, ma'am? How old are you, ma'am? Ma'am, how old are you?
I'm 45.
45 years old, and you believe R. Kelly is innocent? Wow.
Yeah, because you know what? God gave me common damn sense. And guess what? If these women, why is it that everyone, if he's a predator, why did everybody lie about their age? Can you explain that to me?
Ma'am.
If he's a predator, no. Explain that to me. Because you do know that damn near everybody lied about their age. You do know that, right?
Ma'am, that's not true. When in this situation, he knew that they were underage because when you book these flights, when you book these flights, you have to put that person's birthday. So that's what the things are going on. Again, Mr. Kelly, and we're gonna have to agree to disagree because I understand you are a 45. You said 45?
Go ahead, yeah.
You're a 45-year-old woman,
yeah.
and you're one of those typical black women that protect predators because you are one of those women. If something were to happen to your daughter, you will take your man and your uncle's side because you don't believe black men should be predators. And that's something that needs to change. That mindset needs to change because anytime where you would be in a courthouse and the jury saying he's guilty and he's been in so many places guilty, and you are still in your mind saying he's innocent, something got to be wrong with you mentally.
No, there's nothing wrong with me mentally. What it is I think people lack common damn sense. And whatever white media says to you guys, guess what? You run with it.
White media didn't tell me that. I learned it on myself.
I think our race is the worst, and I'm going to tell you why it's the worst. You never see a white person doing the shit that y'all do to their people. You would never,
That's not true. Look what happened. Look what happened with Harvey Weinstein. He was white and he's in prison. Do you believe he's a predator?
So let me ask you this. Why aren't you ridiculing him like you're doing?
Do you believe Harvey Weinstein is a predator?
I was never around him. I would say some of them women lied and some of them told the truth. Some lied and some of them told the truth.
So all the women that came against R. Kelly, they all lied.
You think because a woman comes out and says something, it makes it true? Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is you have to follow the evidence. But all the women that are lying on R. Kelly is in your mindset. All the women are lying on R. Kelly.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And not only that, if they lie about their age, what the fuck do you want a man to do? You think he's responsible for that shit?
Yes.
Let a woman lie on you. Are you gay or straight? I don't know. Let a woman or a man lie on you. And you'll see how that shit feels.
I don't think that's the case for Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly.
And then you're going to say, it blows my mind, sir. It really blows my mind. But at the end of the day, that appeal is going to be something for y'all to watch because that man is coming out. And you guys, I'm telling y'all now, y'all better know y'all rights because I'm going to tell you now, they are plotting against you black men. So y'all better get, and guess what they're doing? They're using your own black women. So you, as a man, you should really think about that because that's some shit. I'm telling you, you really got to think about this. They are hemming y'all up left and right, and y'all don't even see it coming. And y'all get on these YouTube channels.
So are you gonna put money on Robert Sylvester Kelly books?
Say that again.
Are you gonna put money on his books to see in prison?
Oh, already have. I have a nephew in jail. I support my black men because everybody there are people that they do.
What did your nephew do to go to jail? Is your nephew innocent?
Say that again.
Is your nephew innocent? What did he do to go to jail?
No, No. My nephew, honestly, he's not innocent, but I still support him because I know how that jail system.
What did he do? What did your nephew do? He robbed somebody?
Like
what did your nephew do?
Say that again?
What did your nephew do to go to jail?
Drugs, of course, drugs and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, he sold drugs. Yeah. So, but I know he did wrong because this is his first time, but I still support him because he is my nephew. You understand what I'm saying? If it makes
what a sad auntie.
Just like if you had a son or a daughter and they did something, you know, you're still gonna.
So are you, ma'am, at 47 years old? Are you part of the enterprise?
What enterprise? What are you talking about?
A part of people that believe that R. Kelly is innocent. You're protecting R. Kelly. You're defending R. Kelly. Are you a part of that type of energy, that enterprise?
I'm not a part of any enterprise. What I do go on is my common damn sense. That's what it is. I have common sense that God gave everybody. And when I see bullshit, I know bullshit a mile away. You're not gonna put a documentary in my face and oh yeah, I believe that shit is acting. Are you kidding me? You can't do that to me. You just can't. I'm not that type of person that you can sell me anything. I have common fucking sense.
All right, I hear what you said that type of way. How much do you weigh?
How much do I weigh? I weigh 135, 140.
Okay, 140.
Yeah.
You believe that R. Kelly?
I don't even think it's 140. I'm like a small. It's like probably like 130, 135.
And you believe that R. Kelly is innocent? I just want to make sure.
Oh yeah, I see the lies. Please, are you kidding me? Of course, I believe he's innocent. I'm gonna stand on what I stand on.
Did you watch? Did you watch the document? Did you watch the documentary last night?
I would never. I would never watch no shit like that because when I read the documents and what I've seen and what I know and just going in that courthouse, nah, something ain't right. Something ain't right.
All right. Thank you so very much.
So and listen, I don't mean to be rude to you because I wasn't trying to be. So I'm just very passionate. But what I want to leave you with, please, as Black men and women, you guys got to know your rights. Y'all got to see the buffoonery because they coming for your ass. I'm trying to tell you. It's something out there that they're distracting you guys with, and you guys aren't even seeing the bigger picture. That's all I'm going to leave you with, okay? So I don't have anything against you. Your opinion is just opinion, but you really need to fact check and really look on things. And that fight with the other lady, that was all a lie. I'm just letting you know you're going to see the outcome. But that was all a lie. You know what I'm saying? And you know what woman I'm talking about, I'm not going to say her name. I need you to follow her because her court, it starts next week. But you're going to hear, she's going to talk about it. So you're going to hear everything that comes out. Okay? I'm just being real with you. All right?
All right. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Thank you.
You have a beautiful, blessed day. Okay?
Okay. Bye-bye. Okay. So, that was another R. Kelly supporter that believe that R. Kelly is innocent. She do not believe that R. Kelly is guilty. So I'm gonna go to another caller here. Give me a second. Go to another caller here. Good morning. You live on the Wiley Show. Good morning.
Good morning, Wiley. How you
doing? Doing good.
Wiley, I've been sitting back. I just believe in right. I believe in right and I believe in wrong. I believe that a lot of this is resulting back from Aaliyah. I believe that some people feel he should have been in jail or got incarcerated the very first time he went to court. But we can't go backwards at this point. I also reviewed videos of Aaliyah where she's basically stated that her and Robert didn't have any type of relationship such as that, but they say a marriage certificate was found and they were indeed married at the age of 15 or 16. But every interview I've seen Aaliyah speak on Robert, it haven't been anything shy of good things. And I believe that R. Kelly is quiet because he's protecting everybody involved except for himself. I have always said that he needed to talk. I have always said that he needed to voice what actually happened because I am a Black woman. I haven't always been grown. I've been a little girl. I've been young. I've had older men holler at me. As a young girl, I've also hollered at a lot of older men because in older men, we see security, we see money, we see support that we don't get from younger men. Nobody can convince me that every last single one of those females were victims. You're just not going to convince me of that. Drea, his wife, it came out in the last trial that she was also a partaker of these threesomes, but she got on Surviving RKelly as if she was a victim. One thing about a woman, we will lie. One thing about a woman, we will F a man up. If he don't show up for Christmas, if he don't show up for birthdays, if he don't show up for holidays, we have those tendencies to tell lies. And a lot of women ain't going to want to hear it because they know. They know. These women know, but they're not going to say that. They know that most of us are ratchet. They know that most of us ain't hitting on nothing because you have to grow. You have to grow. When you're young, you have to grow to be able to understand and look back on life and say, "Oh, I was wrong."
So do you believe that RKelly is guilty?
You want me to be honest?
Of course.
No. How all of these women stay around for all these years, Wiley, and somebody brought it to mind.
So all of the women is lying. So every one of them is lying.
I don't trust Azriel. No, her statement is out.
So all the women, so everybody is lying on RKelly. He's just innocent.
Yeah, I believe every last single one of them are lying. You know why? Because they was offered immunity. I believe that they were the racketeering. I believe RKelly was taken advantage of to a degree due to his inability to read, write. Yes, RKelly holds some responsibility. He holds some accountability.
Responsibility of what?
Say what now?
What responsibility he hold? What responsibility?
Being involved with them many women. All of these women was tied up. I mean, what man need that many women? How many? And then you question the herpes. As I was growing up and went to the doctor, my doctor told me one time, she said, the more men you have, the more sexual partners you have, the high prone you're going to be to catching diseases. All them women and RKelly got one penis and all of that coochie. What do you think was going to happen? Do you think somebody was going to get, that's uncleanliness. That's nastiness being transferred to another one. Her germs being carried over to her. But men still to this day have threesomes. Women still to this day allow themselves. I know women right now. One man will leave out the house, another one coming. It's accountability. It's holding these females accountable for their action. It's about holding their mothers, the fathers, these producers. All of these people should, if RKelly is going to be in prison, then every last single one of them should be right there beside him. And that I do agree.
All right. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you, Wiley.
All right. Bye-bye. Wow. They are believing that this man is. Let me go backstage. We got somebody backstage, you guys. We are talking about the documentary of the RKelly, the final chapter. Hello.
Hi, Wiley. How are you?
Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thanks for allowing me to come up. In reference to the RKelly trial, now y'all know, let's be clear. We went through this with him years ago, okay? Back in 2008, I believe, he was able to escape that. Now, a regular person like you and I, okay, not a billionaire such as he was at one time, we would have taken that opportunity when he was freed with all the evidence that they had and stopped the behavior that he did. What he did not do, because see, power and money is everything. He continued that. And it wasn't until the Me Too movement started gaining traction, they were like, we're going after him, and we're going after him hard. See, I respect everybody's opinion, but right is right and wrong is wrong. Only RKelly knows the things that he's done to hurt these women, these men, and anybody else, okay? He had a whole team around him, like you said, enablers and everybody else. Let's be clear. Sometimes you got to pay the piper, just like he used to sing about. Now, I do believe hurt people hurt people. A lot of us experience trauma in our lives, but it doesn't mean that we inflict it on others, okay? I respect you because I thought you were shady at first, but I think I'm obsessed with you now, okay? You're looking mighty good today. That shirt looked good. Yes, indeed. That smile early in the morning. But you know what, Wiley? I really like you. I was gonna shade you at first, right? I was gonna put you on my backup channel, Judge and Jury, but you know, I changed my mind. I like your content. I like the fact I love looking at your facial expressions as you be having me on the floor, and then the comments give me life. But let's be clear, people got to be held accountable. There's some, and let me tell y'all something. Sex trafficking is a big, big business, all right? And it just didn't end. It is still a lot of this stuff going on. As a cop, I'm aware. You guys will be shocked to see the things that go on. So RKelly is right where he belongs. And anybody that wants to support him, that's on them. But they got to answer to God why you are supporting a person who inflicted pain upon the world. I love you. And I be clowning in your chat. Just don't throw me out here. Now, when I get the good old paycheck tomorrow, I'm going to send you something nice because that shirt look good.
Thank you so very much.
Bye.
Man. Thank you. I want to go to, we got somebody backstage, so we're going to bring him on. Star?
Hey, I just wanted to make a comment. RKelly is definitely guilty. He's exactly where he belongs, and I hope he stays there. Outside from that, though, people do need to be held accountable, women especially, women and men. I believe that the parents need to be in prison just as well, because to me, as a parent myself, I'm not understanding how a lot of this took place for so long. I'm just not understanding why these parents are not being held accountable and being placed in prison. To me, they were pimping, a lot of them were pimping their kids out. And if that check would have came through, I feel like some of them would not have pressed charges or pressed the issue. But because those checks didn't clear, here we are. And for that, those parents need to be held accountable. So that's all I really wanted to say, because to me, there's no way if I had a daughter, I'm sending her to go with RKelly because he's going to make her a star. No, ain't happening. You're not staying with no grown man, period. So I think these parents need to be held accountable. And I see it's a lot of women in the chat that, you know, don't agree, but they're the same ones who would send their child with one of these celebrities. And that's sad.
Absolutely. I agree with you on that. Thank you so very much for calling in. Thank you for giving your call. And I know this is the first time you called in, correct?
No, second.
Oh, the second time. Well, good morning and thank you and Happy New Year.
The same to you. Have a good one.
Okay. We're going to go backstage. We have somebody else. Sipping Socialite, you live on air.
Hi, Wiley. Good morning.
Good morning
to you and the producers. First, I would like to say these male-identified mammies are very creepy. I wouldn't sit my dog next to a lot of you women. The fact that you got up here and you blame these women for what a man chooses to do. Yes, people do lie, but the numbers of men being incarcerated due to women lying is a very small number. You all just make excuses and try to justify crimes and committed by these felonious ass degenerates. Excuse my language. The fact that you all will sit up here and say, I would trust my daughter, that means you're the type of woman that if something was to happen to your daughter, she could not come to you because you would choose a penis over her. That means you as a woman do not value yourself. Therefore, you do not value other women. You don't value other women's bodies and agencies. And to sit here and say, oh, I'll put money on his books. Ma'am, you're creepy. That's very, very scary. And to all the young ladies out here, stay away from these setup queens, these mammies, these creepy women, because yes, and like the other caller said, I do agree that the parents should be held responsible because they knew this man was a creep. I mean, we can look at history and see where there were times where people did try to bid their children, their daughters off to the highest bidder in order for some money. And that is wrong. We live in a new day and age. That is definitely disgusting. The Savages, whoever, the Clarys, their parents knew what this man was because we all watched in the 90s how he urinated on a young girl, Sparkle's niece, which it did happen, and paid that family off. We know that that happened. For you all to come around in 2000s and to sell your daughters off to this man who you know married Aaliyah, gave her herpes because what? Either she had herpes or she was pregnant. Something happened right there. Either way it goes, he's nasty. And just because he can't read and write doesn't mean he's not nasty. And in blaming the women, ma'am, he's dipping in one pond, dipping out, and then he was dipping out of men too. Stop negating the fact that this man was a sexual predator. He is what he is, and he where he should be. And any woman fighting that, you need a lobotomy. You need to go get help. You need to go fight yourself in therapy. Not sit up here on a nice, beautiful Tuesday morning arguing with Wiley, trying to go back and forth with him about a man that's sitting in a cage where he needs to be. I have friends from Chicago, and I know Wiley's from Chicago, and I know you heard the stories, Wiley, about how this man will be sitting out of people's schools. My friends have told me the story how the RKelly would be outside at schools. And I will believe my friends over some rape apologists sent online yelling at strangers because a rapist is locked up where he should be. See, it's all fun and games until one of the degenerates make you a victim. So any woman coming against other femininity and other women, I hope you get what you deserve, ma'am. I hope you get everything you're asking for from one of these degenerates. And it can be you. One of my friends' grandmother was left in the snow bleeding at the age of 89 years old because what a degenerate did to her. R word. That can be you, ma'am. Y'all better stop getting in the way of these males' karma because what's going to happen, it will hit you. That's all I had to add.
Thank you so very much. Okay, you guys, when you bring y'all on, make sure y'all watch the language. We want to keep it a clean show. This is a daytime show. We are live. We got people all listening here. So make sure y'all keep y'all language clean. All right. Okay. Here we go. You're live on the air. Can you hear me?
Good morning, Wiley. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi. So today my name is I Thought a Predator Apologist Said Something. I do want to speak and address on this old hag, scallywag, mammy heifer that called in earlier calling herself a pedo apologist. Ma'am, you should be ashamed of yourself. You're part of the problem in our Black community. You one of these old heifers that sit up and defend and turn a blind eye to these predators and our words and all of the above. That man is guilty. He's under the jail. He's not getting out. Get over it. You sound like you might be suffering from Stockholm syndrome, but I don't even want to give you that much of you don't even deserve that. You deserve to be cursed out. You deserve to be dragged. You're trash. I feel sorry for the women in your family that probably were victims. She sounds like the women in our community that make it hard for young women that were victims to come out and feel safe. You should be ashamed of yourself. And you're 45, ma'am. You're part of the mammies that just need to be cast out of the community. We do need to create a space in our community where women of all ages feel comfortable and safe and, feel happy and all of that good stuff. We should be able to express ourselves and get anything off of our chest that did happen. Luckily I was not a victim of anything, but I just can't wrap my head around anyone that would sit up and make excuses for a predator. He's guilty. He's in jail. He did what he did. Ma'am, were you there? Because you talk about you was in court, ma'am. Where are you a relative? You're very, very biased. And there are too many accounts, too many cases of this happening. All them women ain't lying. Like I said, you can take your wig off, ma'am, and you can go to hell. Okay, I want to be nice, but you don't deserve the kindness. You don't deserve kind words. You don't deserve to be a part of the Black community. You or anyone that thinks like you, you and any other mammy that thinks like you, can all go to hell with RKelly. Have a nice day, Wiley.
Oh, well, thank you so very much. Okay, I'm gonna go to the phone lines. I have somebody here. We're gonna go to the phone lines. Give me a second. And if you call it in private, I can't call you back, so you just got to keep calling. We are all going back to the phone lines. Okay, the phone lines is open. So if you're calling in, the phone line is open. I'm going to try one more time. And if you're calling in, the number is 972-674-9762. 9462. Hello? Okay. All right. Hello, you live on the Wiley Show.
Hello, hey, Wiley.
Hey.
How you doing?
Doing good. Good morning.
That's good. Listen, I don't know what's wrong with the lady that just called in. Not just called in, but the one that was, y'all call her Mammy. But I want to invite her to a therapy session, if she'll accept it. I would like to invite her to a therapy session because she sounds like she got some issues. Now, we all know that RKelly is guilty. Whether it's lies and truth mixed together or however it is, we know that RKelly is guilty, okay? And I don't understand some of the women. This is a problem that we have in our community. I don't understand this catering to these men, okay, and trying to make them right when you know they wrong, and that's a problem. That's why some of our men are the way they are. Excuse me, because nobody holds them accountable. You got women that's knowing that what RKelly did, but yet you on here beefing and stuff sounding like you ready to jump through the phone, trying to say this man is not guilty. I always was told what's done in the dark comes to the light. Okay? He probably didn't get caught from the beginning, but he got caught. And he was guilty. I don't give a darn if it was half truth, half lies, or what it was. He did some of that they said he did. And he got caught for it. And I hope that while he's in there, he takes some therapy too and some stuff. So when he come out of here, he can leave our young girls alone and stop messing up their life and give them a chance to grow up and become adults. And I hope that woman don't have no girls because she in trouble. If something happened to her, she in trouble. Because she sounds like one of those women that will take sides with the person who violated her child. She sounds like she got a problem. Go get therapy. Go get therapy. If she don't have the money for it, because I heard she's sending RKelly money, so I can only imagine. But if she don't have it, she could reach out to me. I'll be glad to send her to therapy. Because a lot of them need it. That's how a lot of us need to start the new year off with, therapy. Because some of us is just messed up. And it makes us, as a community, it messes us up. And that's why a lot of women of color don't want to come up, come out when something happens to them. Because when you look up, everybody is on their back. Or she lying, or she ain't telling the truth. Everybody's telling the truth except for when it comes to a woman of color. And I'm not talking what I heard, I'm talking what I know. And it's not right. It really isn't. We got to start banding together and backing up these women when something happens to them. I stand with a woman. Until I find out the truth, I'm going to rock with her. If she says something happened, I'm going with it until I find out otherwise. But as soon as a woman of color say something happened to her, she's attacked. There's a lot of women that don't want to come forward. Mm-hmm. They stay in silence. And you know what ends up happening to some of them? They turn to drugs, alcohol, because they trying to numb that pain.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so very much for calling in.
We got to do better. That's all I'm saying. We got to do better.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Okay. We are definitely live and talking about it. Hello?
Hello, Wiley.
Welcome.
This is what I told you at the beginning of the year. Your Black feminist women is not going to like me in the year of 2023. Now, let me tell y'all something. RKelly should have been in jail in 1998, period. So, y'all saying that RKelly don't deserve to be in jail, it's a lie. But let me tell you feminist women something. Y'all was the main ones who calling in. Y'all was the one who supported him after the Aaliyah. Y'all was the one who supported him after the pen. Y'all did that. Y'all was the one who was promoting that tape. Now that we all in this feminist era, Me Too era, y'all want to come out and say, lock him up, but y'all supported him. Y'all supported him when he went on tour with Jay-Z. Y'all did it. This is y'all fault. I'm not blaming him. I'm blaming y'all because y'all was the one who gave that man the ammo to do whatever he want to do. All those women who was in that documentary, they should be in jail with him because they was the one who went to him after Aaliyah and after the pen. So I don't feel sorry for none of those women, okay? It's time to hold Black women accountable, and that's what we're doing in 2023. You will be held accountable for these, for RKelly. Now, y'all sit here and supported that crap so he could go and get an Israel and a Jocelyn, and their mamas are y'all. Their mamas brought them to the predator. He should have been locked up along with Aaliyah mama and uncle in 1998. They knew what he was doing, but they wanted the money and the fame. So I blame this on them. Aaliyah mama should be in jail with RKelly. The PN woman mama should be in jail with RKelly. After that trial, the woman who was in a documentary now, they was at the PN trial, Wiley. They was there in support of him. Are you kidding me? I'm supposed to feel sorry for them? Absolutely not. Whatever happened to you because you wanted it. You know what he could do. You know what he did to that other young girl in Aaliyah. Those are the only two victims that RKelly should be in jail for. The only two. Y'all calling up here talking about mammy. Y'all are the mammies of the mammies. Because y'all mamas was the one who supported him when he went on tour with Jay-Z. Y'all supported him when he stepped in the name of love. Y'all played it at y'all family reunion every year, Wiley. We could not get away from RKelly because they was the one who uplifted him. And they was the one who made him invisible, thought he was invincible to the law. Now, we are here to hold you feminist women accountable. Now y'all want to say, me too. It ain't me too. It's only you. Because I don't support you. It's time to be held accountable for our actions. RKelly should be in jail, but not for those women that was in that documentary. He should be in jail for Aaliyah and for the PN woman. That's who he should be in jail for. Israel is not a reliable source. And that woman is insane when you say RKelly is innocent and you will leave him around your child. You are insane when you say that. But I do agree with you when they say they are trying to divide the Black man and the woman. You are not lying about that. But we're not going to use that. See, you're using it for something different than I'm using it for. I'm using it to hold women accountable. You're using it to give RKelly an excuse, and I ain't doing that. He should be in jail for Aaliyah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, man. Thank you so very much.
Good day, Wiley.
Good day. That was a voice. I don't know. That was Sister Conservative for calling in. Okay, I'm gonna go backstage. We got Kelly backstage, and I'm gonna go back to the phone lines. Make sure y'all thumbs up this live. We are live. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Kelly, you're live on the air. Good morning and Happy New Year.
Hey, Wiley, good morning to you and Happy New Year. You look great, Wiley.
Thank you.
Yes, I agree with Sister Conservative, just about with 90% of what she said, because everybody supported R. Kelly, you know, in the 90s, in the 80s. I mean, in the 90s, in the early 2000s. I did too. After we heard the accusation, so now everybody want to lock him up. Yeah, he should go to jail, but still at the same time, a lot of these women that getting on your panel calling, if they uncle in jail who touched them, or they daddy, or the woman down the street, you can't make R. Kelly the face of pedophilia. This stuff been going on, you know, for the longest while, and black people didn't open their mouth. They didn't open their mouth when R. Kelly got old and broke. That's when they want to throw him to the wolves. And by right, he should go. Now, we want to talk about the wife. I feel like she should be in there with him too, because it came out in the Chicago trial that she was having sex with these girls too. And all of those women was not little girls. A lot of them were 17 years old. That came out in the Chicago trial. So, you know, with this Me Too movement and this Time Up movement, they pick and choose who they want to go after. You know, go after everybody, including the women. You got Jada Pinkett Smith up there. You know, she should be in jail too. Because even though August Agostino was a grown man, he was not mentally stable for seduction. So let's hold the women and the men accountable in 2023. Not only the men, Wiley, the women's too. Because these women be wrong. And black women need to stop caping and jumping on bandwagons and listen to the facts. Yes, R. Kelly deserved to go to jail. The parents deserve to go to jail. And the women's are liars. A lot of those women were liars. And it came out in the Chicago trial. So just hold everybody accountable, you know, for their action. That's all I ask. What you think, Wiley?
You know, you're right. I think that when it first came out with Aaliyah, he should have been canceled. Even going all the way back to 1991, I believe,
right,
the recorded victim, he should have been canceled. But I'm not shocked he wasn't. It took 3 decades for justice, and our reason why we end this conversation is because he was broke, and because people start rising up, people start creating organizations. You have to meet R. Kelly, you have to meet
right.
You had so many entities, but back in the 90s, that was an era where we wanted to be entertained. And I've heard coming up, I lived in Chicago, I heard rumors that R. Kelly would go to the McDonald's, R. Kelly would be at Hyde Park High School, and he would pick up little girls. This one mother would tell me. So for decades, they knew R. Kelly was a predator, but we pushed that, a lot of people, including myself, we pushed it to the back burner because he was a good entertainer. Right. And we just did not believe in counsel somebody for being a predator. We just continue to. So even in Chicago to this day, you still have people. Even my mother, I was just there a couple of months ago. We played a lot of R. Kelly music. It's not
we did too
in our home. We still playing that music.
That's right.
I do believe that I'm glad that the justice system finally caught up to R. Kelly. And another reason why R. Kelly wasn't canceled, he paid off a lot of women. He paid off a lot of families. He paid off a lot of people. Once that money dried up, people's like, okay, I'm gonna start talking. And now justice is served because he became broke. And so now, you know, he don't have the resource to pay victims off. And so that's when he became vulnerable, and justice, and now finally justice was served. But thank you so much.
I got one more thing. While if you don't mind. One more thing I don't like about us and the difference with other communities. We want the X come down hard on our men. You know, black people, don't forget Elvis Presley got a theme park. Don't forget he just had a movie to come out. And don't forget he was a child molester and a woman beater and a child beater. Don't forget that. You know, we can say all these things when it comes to our men, but no other culture hold their men accountable to the death like black people do. You know, just like Bill Cosby. Yeah, he did all that kind of stuff, you know, but it's a catch-22 to it. He the one kept these HBCUs afloat, you know? So that's my thing about it. Yeah, do our men do wrong? Yeah, they do wrong. Do we got to hang them and lynch them? No, we do not. Because other communities don't do that. You don't even hear Harvey Weinstein. You don't even hear that community still talking about him and ripping and roaring. You don't hear nothing about it. You know,
they made a movie about Harvey Weinstein.
But right, I understand why. But what I'm saying, the women don't carry on as bad. You don't hear anything about the Me Too, and you don't see no second movie even in the works talking about coming out. You don't. You just don't. You don't. Those women did what they had to do and quietly exit left. That's all I'm saying.
All right, thank you so very much.
Okay, thank you, Wiley.
Love you. Good morning.
Love
Happy
you too.
New Year. Okay, we gotta go. Thank you. We gotta go to the next person that is here. Wanda. Good morning. Happy New Year.
Wiley, hi, Happy New Year. Do you know that one of the females testified that she sued RKelly? She basically blackmailed him, right? She turned around and gave him the money back. Do you know what was her reason of suing him or giving the money back? You know what she said?
Well, you can let us know.
She wanted his attention. He wasn't answering her calls, her text messages, and she went for his pocket to get his attention. When they asked her on the stand, did that get his attention? She said yes. They asked her, what did she do with the money? She gave it back to him. Those are the type of games that we're dealing with in this trial when it comes to a lot of these females. Nobody want to open their minds. Nobody want to open their hearts. Nobody want to open their spirit to realize that this is what we are dealing with. A lot of these, now I go back to the other caller. Absolutely. If we had to rely on two, I would say Aaliyah, and that little girl, Sparkle niece, the one that she groomed and told her to go rub on RKelly's head or rub on his lap and ask him to be her godfather. That girl, I think that was Faith or one of them. I forgot the name. But these are the type of games and these are the type of women. Do you think Sparkle is innocent in all of this? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. These women are not innocent, Wiley. And Aaliyah, if we got to go back to RKelly, from my understanding, before RKelly, Aaliyah was involved with other men. So if you're going to get RKelly, go get all them other men Aaliyah was fooling with. Like that other person said, y'all want RKelly to be the face of this pedophile move, but this is not the play. If y'all want him, go get everybody else, because he is not alone. Read the transcripts. These are the types of games that they were playing. And these women are lying to protect themselves. They were the criminals. They were, and I believe after Aaliyah and that other little girl, I believe RKelly stopped. I believe he stopped. That's when Az came along and Jocelyn came along. He was with two females that were of age. Even though Azriel was 17 years old, legally in the state of Illinois, she was of age. But he sent her back home. She came back when she was 18 years old. When you go talking, yeah, you tell me to hang up in the chat. I'm not hanging up because you know why? Y'all don't want to hear the truth.
What about the young victim, and I can't think of her name, that met RKelly during his first trial? And she said that RKelly, she told RKelly that, hey, I'm underage. And he said, just say you're 19. And he started to fumble with her breast. And according to that young victim, he bent her over and proceeded to penetrate her. So RKelly is not innocent. Do you?
I never know.
Do you believe that RKelly is innocent or guilty?
R. Kelly got sin. We all are full of sin.
I'm
And
not about saying. I'm talking about. Do you think he's innocent or guilty?
for the right crime,
Do you think
if we can get him for the right crime, put that young lady on the trial. But take them.
I'm talking about.
I'm not putting this man behind bars for these other women.
I ask you a question. Do you believe he's innocent or he's guilty? That's a simple question.
How can you make that question, Wiley, when there's so many other players playing pieces involved?
I'm asking about R. Kelly. Is he innocent or is he guilty?
He innocent. He innocent. They should have got him back then. If they wanted him for Aaliyah and that other girl, they should have got him then. You don't come back 20, 30 years later, and now you want to... Child, this is the industry behind this. Y'all know it is. And they're using these women's faces to keep that man in jail, to tie up his money, to rob him completely blind. Y'all know this. The Black community know this. Y'all sitting up here hollering about what you ain't going to go along with, but y'all the same ones that take your children to the trans shows. Sit the fuck down somewhere, and I'm out of here.
All right, language. We want to make sure we keep
I'm sorry. These women pisses me off because they know what's going on. These Black women know what's going on. And y'all Black men know what's going on. It's just sad that these white folks got y'all heads so messed up. Y'all willing to go along with anything. Remember, you're in a white man's world and you're running by the white man's rules. Y'all can't even think for yourself these days. Put Biden in office. Bye, child, bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you so very much. Wow, they are so very passionate on this morning. We're talking about R. Kelly. Wow. Good morning, Kevin. Happy New Year.
Good morning. Happy New Year, Wiley. I am so tired of the pick-me's, especially that last caller. Kelly, sister conservative, all uneducated, ignorant pick-me's. And she just basically confirmed what I was about to get up here and talk about. Was basically, they'll get on here and condemn gays to hell. They'll say, "Oh, you taking your kids to a trans show? What is a trans show? Does she mean drag show? How ignorant and dumb uneducated she is." They'll say you're taking your kids to trans shows. They'll kick their son out for being gay. They'll kick their daughter out for being a lesbian. They'll put their daughter and sons out in the street for being gay, but they'll let their brother molest their child. They'll let their brother molest their daughter. That last caller, I promise you to God, I pray that she doesn't have a daughter, because I promise you, if an older Black male in her family touch that little girl, she'll condone it. She'll tell that little girl, "Oh, it's not what you think it is." She'll probably assist in helping him molest that little girl. So I pray to God every female in her family is safe from any man that she is around or she condones. Listen to me, Wiley. The thing is, even if these underage girls lured R. Kelly, even if they try to seduce R. Kelly, even if their parents try to, get them into R. Kelly's presence, R. Kelly is still guilty. He still messed with those underage girls. It doesn't matter how it was facilitated. He still messed with those girls. It's still a crime. So miss me with the whole, "Oh, they did this and they did that." His dumb ass should have been smart enough not to take the bait. And y'all some dumb behinds for sitting up here calling in, defending that man. That man is exactly where he belongs. And it sounds like sister conservative Kelly, well, her dyking behind, because she a dyke. Kelly and the last caller, it sounds like y'all need to be locked up with R. Kelly.
Thank you so very much, Kevin, for calling in. You guys, let's work on the language, because this is daytime show. Thank you, Kevin. All right, we're gonna go back stage keys. The language, y'all. All right. Thank you. You back on, then I'm gonna go to the phone lines.
Hi, Wiley. Yes, I'm back because I want to say this. You mammies and your crooked, dehydrated wigs, y'all really need to stop calling in this show, making the Wiley Show look bad. Okay? And then it's you old croaking hoes that keep calling in from the same generation. And then you want to bash the Me Too movement. Let me explain. Let me school you old heifers about the Me Too movement. Okay? It was a movement. What is a movement? It's a moment of awareness. The Me Too movement represented women around the country who were afraid to come out and speak out due to victim blaming, shaming mammy hoes as such as yourselves that are called. I'm sorry, I'm gonna watch my language. The movement was to alight and bring attention and awareness to and make a space comfortable for women to open up and come out and say, hey, this happened to me. I was abused. Okay. There is no time limit on abuse. Abuse never expires. Abuse does not have a expiration date. So for you old crooked croaking hosts to call in this show blaming children that were abused in a time we were children during the time that you old heifers were adults, letting this slide. Our generation ain't going for that. Okay, we made the Me Too movement in our generation because we don't go for that nonsense that you all took and went and allowed. Okay, it's a new day and age where we don't cover mammies and we don't victim blame. Okay, you old heifers need to stop calling in with that. So I wanna say this too, because y'all keep wanting to scapegoat the white man. And Wiley, I appreciate you bringing that up to the first caller who shamed your show. The FBI does raids all day long. They find all kind of people of all races with child. I can't probably can't say it. R-word videos. They do raids all day, every day. They do hold their own accountable. They have institutions in place to hold everyone of every caliber accountable. So when you try to scapegoat and say, oh, the white man gets away with this, the white man gets away with that, and oh, black man, you're under attack. Black men deserve to be held to the same level of accountability as all other races of men. Okay, they're not absolved of accountability for their misfortunes and their mistakes, and they're definitely not their predator. All of that. So for y'all to call in talking about the white man and trying to use the black power fist trope to try to overshadow the wrongs of RKelly and the likes of RKelly, you're just wrong. And again, you need to be ashamed. Okay, I just wanted to call back to explain what the Me Too movement was, and they keep trying to bash what the Me Too movement was, and you keep trying to victim blame. Okay, those girls were children when they went through that. So the fact that they decided as an adult, because you don't wake up and just be healed from abuse.
Absolutely. Thank you. I'm gonna go to the next caller. Thank you so very much. Okay. We got a next caller here. Good morning. You got too much. You got too much noise. You got babies crying and stuff like that. You got to put them babies to bed. Then you can call in. Kelly.
Yeah, well, I don't want to respond to that man. Just got through calling. For number one, sir, I've been married 21 years. Okay. Number two, I respect the transgender, the gay community. And Wiley, did I not say that RKelly should be held accountable? Did I not say that, Wiley?
Absolutely.
I said that. Only thing I disagree, and I did say some of the women to me was lying. If you go back and read the transcript, we got a right. Even though we are women of a particular age, Wiley, put my picture back up there, because I'm tired of your panel calling me out of my name. I don't smoke, I don't drink. And for you to be a man, sir, to go in and talk about women the way that you are, you should be ashamed, because I can talk about you. I can call you under your name. I can disagree with you without hitting below the belt. That's a lot of your problem. Your callers, they disagree with people, and they like to hit below the belt and age shame and say things they're really not called for. Because I said clearly that RKelly should be held accountable, but I got a right to question some of the women, because some of them was not underage. Some of them were grown women that left their job, like Kitty, like his wife Andrea, to follow him. So know your facts, sir. And the reason why I won't go in on you and call you out your name, because I respect the community. Okay? I respect the community. And stop playing with me.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Wiley.
For calling in. Okay. We got that. So now we're going to go to the phone line, because we have nobody that actually hit the link. So we're going to now go to the phone lines. I'm going to go in order as they came in. So be by your phones. I'm going to go in order as they came in, and be by your phones. I'm going to go in order as they came in. So be by your phones. I'm going to come to the first caller that called in. Okay. Where you at? Where's 4482? Okay. Give me a second. If you already called in, I got to bring new callers on. So bear with me, you guys. I'm gonna go to then we are going to bring other callers on. 4482. Where you at? Where you at? I'm trying to bring you back on 4482, but I don't see you. Oh, I see you. Okay, I'm gonna call you back. All right. And please answer. Hello? Wait a minute. Did it freeze? Oh, let me call that back. All right. Oh no, what's going on? Hold on, y'all. I gotta restart my phone because it kind of froze up. I'm trying to call. All right, give me a second. I'm trying to call 4482 because so many people. Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna call you back. Good morning. Make sure y'all share this live. Hello, you live on the Wiley Show.
Oh my God, Wiley, you didn't call me back. I didn't believe that you were going to call me back or nothing like that. So thank you for doing that. Let me plug my phone up. The things that I have to say are that RKelly didn't have no character witnesses. If you say anything about me, there will be people that are close to me that come and say, it's not no way you're talking about my sister like that. It's not no way you're talking about my auntie like that. It's not no way you're talking about my cousin like that, because it's just not her. You know, so for him to not have anyone close to him to come to court and say the things that all of the people that do not know him are saying, that says a lot. That says a whole lot. And then I am a part of the RKelly sector. I'm a West Coast Belle. People, you know, that listen and you know that been in the chats and stuff, they know who we are. When it comes down to the transcript, the one thing that you can say is that RKelly prepared and manifested betrayal. He had people signing NDAs and writing false letters about things that did not happen. In the meanwhile, he was betraying his own people, but had never prepared for them to betray him. So, of course, now, you know, you spent all your money paying off what they consider groupies and whores, but you wasn't really paying and taking care of the people that are closest to you. So now, when it comes down to it, the people that are closest to you don't have a problem speaking out on the things that you did, you know. And also, you know, just to make a third point, he wasn't living, you know, his true life that he wanted to live, you know, because now, you know, it's come out that he's been with men and all of these things. His main audience was women, but he treated all of the men in his life better than he treated the women. He's spitting on women and, you know, making them do all types of crazy things. And then the men, he crawling over to them like a cat, trying to give them a little top. You know, like, come on. It just does not make sense.
Well, thank you so very much for calling in.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
All right, bye-bye. Okay, we're going to go to the next caller. We got a lot of callers to call back, so give me a second. We will call you back. If you call in private, we can't call you back again. You will have to like keep calling in. Give you a second. Wait a minute. All right. I'm calling you back.
I'm here.
All right, welcome to the Wiley Show.
Hi, Wiley.
Hi.
Well, I'm calling because how are you doing today? This morning,
Doing good.
I'm calling from Las Vegas early. But yeah, I just wanted to say, when I was young, I was like 12 years old, growing up in the 90s, and RKelly came out. I had my mom, my aunties, they didn't even want to listen to R. Kelly. We was not even allowed to listen to R. Kelly because of his lyrics back then. We knew what R. Kelly lyrics was encouraging, the boys coming to class singing it and stuff like that. So we tried to stay away from that type of stuff. But then when he came with all the remixes and all that type of stuff, he was targeting the young crowd. When we seen him with Aaliyah, us as young girls, we was confused, and we knew something was off. But everybody was just letting it go on. So our generation is a little bit confused, and was a little bit confused, and we thought it was cool, to be with the older guys and hang out and be little fast hoochie mamas, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? But in the long run, it wasn't cool. It didn't pan out. You know what I mean? You're hanging with all the bad boys and the popular guys. It just doesn't pay off. But I can honestly say that my mom's generation, they didn't condone the whole R. Kelly, thing. And the generation under them, they were outside playing the R. Kelly everywhere we went, dancing to it, playing it in their cars. And, that's how we got to listening to it. But it was definitely a music thing and influenced by the industry as well, just like Death Row and many others.
Thank you so very much for calling in.
Thank you, Wiley. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. We're going to the phone lines, and we're getting people on here. Let me go to the next caller. There's so many people that called in today, so I want to make sure I go to everybody. So if I don't answer, I will call you back and bring you on the show. Again, if I don't answer, I will call you back if you call in. If you call in private, I mean, you have to keep calling. All right, I'm coming to you, 5723. I'm coming to you. Five, 723. All right. Make sure y'all share the live, like the video. Hello, you live on the Wiley Show.
Please leave your message for.
Okay, you didn't answer. I'm going to the next one. If you don't answer, I got to go to the next one. Okay, the 9. Okay, let me see. Let me see. All right, give me a second. I'm going to go to the next one. Okay, here we go. We are live, so make sure you buy your phone because we're calling you back. Hello, you live on the Wiley Show.
Hi, Wiley. I'm calling in because I'm talk about this R. Kelly thing. I feel like R. Kelly is innocent. He's innocent. He's innocent. But they got R. Kelly on. The charges they brought R. Kelly up for was racketeering in the Mann Act. He's innocent. If those are charges you want to put on him, he's innocent for those charges. Now, R. Kelly did sleep with minors. He did do that. But the day that they say he raped somebody, that's when I'm going to go against R. Kelly. He did not rape those girls. He met Jocelyn when she was 19. This man is an icon. He's a legend. He's a superstar. R. Kelly is not easily accessible. Superstars, you just can't walk up to them and be like, hey, how you doing? Oh, okay, I'm going to take you home. That's not how that goes. These girls had to hunt this man down to get him. And then let's talk about Jerronda Pace. This girl said that she was locked up in his house. It came out in court that R. Kelly got police reports talking about she broke into his house. Now, how you being kidnapped when you had to break into the man's house?
So if you believe that he slept with minors, do you believe that's illegal? Do you think he should go to jail for that? In prison? For sleeping with minors? That's a crime.
That is a crime, but I believe that he has served his time for that. I don't believe he should be in jail for 30, 40, 50 years.
How much time you think somebody should get for sleeping with a minor?
Depending on how many minors he slept with, because you'll get charged for every minor, right?
You said minor, so how many times, just for one, in your opinion, how much time should a person get for sleeping with a minor? How much time you think?
They usually give them 1 to 3 years, and then they have to get out and register as a sex offender.
So you think he should get 3 years?
Something like that, and then come out and register as a sex offender, whatever. I think that's the deal they were trying to offer him anyway during the case in New York. They offered him 3 years and come out and register as a sex offender, but he didn't take the deal. He just went on the trial. But I don't think that he's guilty. The day they say that he raped somebody, the day those girls came out and say that he raped me, I was fighting for my life, that's when I'm going to say that he's guilty. And then the other girl, Asriel or whatever, her mama was driving her to go see RKelly. Now she get on Lifetime talking about she can't find her daughter. She where you left her, ma'am. Wherever you dropped her off, that's where she is.
All right.
None of this makes sense.
Okay.
But I feel like Tasha K should go to jail behind this.
Okay.
I do. I feel like Tasha K is responsible for this, and more than likely Chelsea too, because she messy. And if Tasha K want to redeem herself, what she needs to do is do a whole segment on how RKelly is innocent, because she went and got these parents and took the parents' words, and then she came out and said RKelly may be innocent. Tasha said that herself. She needs to go and she needs to redeem herself. And that's all I got to say.
Thank you so very much. Okay. Wow. These are not shocking or surprised that we're getting callers that are defending RKelly. I'm not shocked or surprised that is that they're defending RKelly. Not shocked or surprised at all, because it's a culture and a system of defending people that do destruction in the community. So I'm not surprised. It's very telling that she had, good morning, you live on the Wiley Show.
I'm kind of late to the chat, to the live, but I did see the title. And can you answer me one question? I thought this surviving RKelly thing was over with. What is this new episode?
You gotta watch it.
Did you watch it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can I just actually give me an overview? Because
I can't give you an overview. I have so many calls.
Go ahead.
I have so many callers today. You have to be earlier tuned into the live.
Okay, Wiley. I'm watching. I'm late. And
okay.
I'm sorry. Sorry, chat. Don't get me. But I'm watching the replay. But I just saw the title. I'm like, surviving RKelly. Didn't we already do this already?
Yes, ma'am. They got another one out. So you gotta have your cable, and you gotta be updated what's going on.
Cable, Wiley.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna watch it, Wiley.
And come on Lifetime. So you go on DVR, go watch it on your cable, and hook your cable box up, get your remote, and you can watch it, because you just all the way not caught up what's going on.
Okay, I'm gonna watch it. I just wanted to talk to you and just say good morning.
Good morning.
And I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And people is tuning in, and you're doing a good job.
Thank you so very much.
All right, Wiley.
Bye-bye. Don't call it, because I am not giving you no overview. And if you want to overview 100, you hit the cash app, and it better be $100 or more if you want me to do an overview. Because again, we are not doing no overview. I've been on here almost 3 hours. So if you want me to do an overview, ching in that cash app, you know what I'm saying? And then we'll give you a overview. But it's unfair to people that get here on time, and we have to give you an overview. We've been on here almost 3 hours and stuff like that. Good morning. Happy New Year. Welcome to the Wiley Show.
Good morning, Wiley. I called you. I love the show, by the way. Keep me in stitches. But that lady that was on a little bit earlier. I'm at work. I stepped away from my desk for lunch, but she was triggering me. With the about the R. Kelly talk, and it just was mind-boggling to hear these older women get up here and defend this man, and it's crazy to me. I don't understand it. I don't understand it for the life of me why you would get up here and defend a sexual predator, and with so much vigor too. Like she was right, man. You're not right. Everything about everything she's saying is wrong. So nobody should ever let their children go over her house. None of that. Don't let her babysit or grandkids for y'all. None of that. She'll have anybody around them kids and let anything happen. That's all I want to say.
Thank you so very much. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye. We down to 3 callers. We trying to get to this to get people to call in because I know y'all are listening. Shout out to the people that are watching me from home, working from home. If you're working from home, say, hey, Wiley. Hit that like button on your phone and stuff like that. Give me a second. We are wow, y'all are still calling in. Give me a second. All right. All right, we coming to you 9789 last 4. Good morning. Welcome to the Wiley Show.
Hi, I just had a few thoughts on the situation.
Mm-hmm.
To begin with, the whole show, they're just trying to make money. That's it. And they're beating a dead horse, and they really just need to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
I can hear you, but they did a documentary, and I'm glad they did it because they showed about the trial and update, and I'm here for it, and it's good entertainment for me to watch it. So,
right. But as for these new girls that we don't already know,
mm-hmm.
As for the new girls that we don't already know, what are we going to get from this?
More awareness to what to look out for and continue to talk about it because again we need to continue to talk about this because there's a lot of people are getting preyed upon in their homes and their families, so we need to continue to broadcast this on national television because it will give a voice to victims that are behind closed doors and say, hey, I'm going to speak up. So we must continue to broadcast exposing predators. I think they definitely need to expose. I think they also need to bring back that show To Catch a Predator. I think that show was very bringing awareness of the people of that show. I don't know why did they cancel it. That show need to come back. So yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, I actually have just a few more things to say too. Sorry, I was kind of walking around. When it also came to R. Kelly, I am a 90s baby. I'm 35. Well, 80s baby, technically. R. Kelly was always one to be at the schools to, pull out the younger girls in the shows. That's nothing new. And in that time, it was a normal thing. Like it shouldn't have been. But girls at school, we didn't date the men in school. We would say, oh, no, our boyfriend is out of school. Our boyfriend will pick us up for lunch and pick us up after school. It was just such a normal time for that. A lot of artists did that. Even our greats, Kobe Bryant, was one to do that. And I just don't understand how he's being prosecuted for something that happened in the past because as of now, these women was of age, aside from maybe one of them who went and sought him out by going to the court. Well, I don't know where her parents was. At the same time, where was these girls' parents? They pretty much sold the girls to him in a sense. And I think that we need to look at the whole thing as a society. Why are minorities okay with their girls, their daughters, bringing home men that's older? Or why are minorities encouraged to date older men? We need to look at the entire picture and not just one person. and fix the problem that actually exists. With the normalization, even with these celebrities, all of them wedded women that was under 18 at some point, most of them from that time. And no one said anything. So to attack one person without getting to the bigger part, to me, it seems wasteful in a sense.
Thank you so very much for calling in.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Okay, we got down to 2 more callers. Okay, we getting through these callers because we've been on here for 3 hours. I'm here for it, but we're gonna cut it short because we ain't gonna try to be here all day. All day. 5833. Good morning. Happy New Year. Welcome to the Wiley Show.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well.
Good. I was just listening to your show, and I personally know 2 people that work directly with RKelly. And the accusations are very true. I have no idea what these women that...
Can you name the people that work for? Is they are a security guard, a publicist? Like what was their job title?
One was the security guard. The other was a backup singer. I'll leave it at that. I don't want to say too much, but they definitely said things that RKelly was doing, and those girls were directed to go to the back and upstage.
So did they see him doing, having these, were they minors?
Yes, they were.
So why didn't those security guard and that publicist call the police?
I guess at the time they were young themselves, and one also said it was about, they were trying to survive. It was money. So
do you think they should go to prison? What if you was in their shoes? Shouldn't they go to prison as well?
That's a good question. I can't answer that directly because I was not personally there.
No, I'm saying if you were kidnapped and you see a security guard, you see other adults there, shouldn't they go to prison as well? Wouldn't you love to see that?
I'm not going to answer that. But like I said, they have witnessed it. And one has spoken up. I can't say that. And you may have even seen their face. So in one of those episodes. But it's sad. It's really sad that it was allowed. And me directly as a teen, I would want justice. I've had my own situation where I didn't speak up as a young lady, and my virginity was taken from me at 12 years old. And this man works for my police department now. So I would want somebody to speak up for me. But I don't know. I can't say how other people would react.
So those are your friends or family members that work for RKelly? Was they your family members or your friends?
They're people I know. I'll say that. They're people I know. And
do you believe that RKelly is guilty?
Yes, I do. Yeah. And also, I'll say this much as well. My daughter sings, and other family members sing, and they are directly related to RKelly. Also know the person who was a part of the Me Too movement, and pushed for him to go to jail and to stop, his music. So I know them directly, and unfortunately, I would never want my daughter around him. If I was to push her music career as a minor, I would never want her to be around him. So
thank you.
That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you so very much for calling in.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wow, she did not want to answer the question, should they be arrested? This is why predators get away with it for so long, because people don't want to answer the question. We got to break that cycle, you guys. This is why predators are able to pray. I don't want to answer that question. What? Good morning. Welcome to the Wiley Show.
Hey, Wiley.
Hey.
Okay, so I want to start off by saying that man is guilty. It don't matter if it's racketeering, gyrateering, sleepeteering, he's guilty. Karma came back around and bumped and grind on that ass. Excuse my language, but he got what was coming for him. It don't matter how it happened, it was supposed to happen. Now, I'm going to let you on a little inside scoop. I am from Orlando, Florida, and I did go to Freedom High School my freshman year as well as Azriel. And I have had several occasions where we talked because we both shared music in common. I remember being in school with her and, freshman year, and after a while, she just disappeared. And then out of nowhere, the documentary came out. So I'm calling my cousin, I'm calling my friends, like, y'all see what's going on? Like, it's just to see it hit so close to home. It's just like, regardless of what happened, we need to stop blaming young women who don't understand the value of loving themselves, which is why they get into situations where men are doing this to them, are taking advantage of them. These are a lot of women who don't have guidance. How can you fault a young woman who needs guidance, who needs love, who needs care, and make them feel bad or try to victim blame? You know what I'm saying? That man guilty, and he deserved to be where he at. So all this extra going back and forth, he need to be in jail. All those people need to be in jail. And that's just what it is. And Wiley, don't let these people bully you off of not speaking your truth and saying what you feel, because what you're doing is important. We have to hold everyone accountable. It don't matter what they doing over there for their people. We're trying to better our people. So at the end of the day, we focus on our folks. Yes, Harvey Weinstein nasty, but we wasn't listening to Harvey Weinstein. We didn't grow up having watched this man. He didn't affect our community. RKelly did. So they got to focus on what's going on in front of us. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I wanted to say.
Thank you so very much for calling and giving your thoughts. Thank you.
All right, no problem.
Bye bye. Okay, we taking a lot of calls of people that are calling in. So bear with me. I want to make sure we got. Okay, I think that's everybody. All right. So if you're, we're gonna drop the link. Again, for the House Speaker, the vote is going to begin soon for that. So we are definitely been talking about this. So if you're calling in, the phone lines is free. Somebody called in private. I can't call you back because you called in private. I believe this is them. Hello, welcome to the Wiley Show.
Hey, Wiley. I just want to comment on the whole RKelly ordeal. I think one of your callers made a very good point. I do think from in the Black community, there needs to be some level of something needs to take place where that, I mean, even like sometimes at people's barbecues or family functions, you got older men looking at younger women. I mean, underage. And then you got some older women looking at younger, men who are underage. And they would try to holler. I think there is something where it's that, something that's been accepted in the past that should never have been accepted in terms of older men dating younger women and we're, underage women, that's what I'm saying, and as well as even older women trying to date underage guys. And it has been happening in the music industry for quite some time. RKelly may be one story, but there's a lot of entertainers that have been doing this. And I really think anything connected to RKelly, anybody that saw this and didn't do anything about it, I think that they need to be punished too. And I think every parent that allowed this and used their child and said, oh, but I just thought he was going to help her career. Well, the fact of the matter is, why were you letting your child go without you to the studio? I mean, where is the father? Where is the mother in this? A lot of people sell their children, and that is wrong. And then they want to just turn around and, and they just, blame him, when in reality, they're just as guilty. And I think that they need to be punished. So when we look at surviving RKelly, I like to see some of these parents, these people that actually were working with him, instead of turning around making this thing where it's that, oh, since you're willing to testify against him, we won't hold anything against you. We just want you to tell your story. This judicial system is really messed up Because I can tell you this, whether it be a Harvey Weinstein or whatever the case may be, these people use a decoy, which would be another woman, another pawn. And it's usually another woman to try to allure another young lady into the situation. So, you know what? There's a lot that needs to be done about this, and I want to see them be punished as well. Absolutely. You're about to say, what are you about to say?
No, I'm saying thank you. I'm gonna go to the next caller. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye. Okay, so I want to make sure we get all the people in here. I think somebody else called in, and we're gonna give our closing remarks. We've been on here for 3 hours. I'm so happy. The first morning show of the year. Love y'all so very much. And I said, hey, we're gonna definitely talk about it. And definitely, hello, good morning. Welcome to the Wiley Show.
Listen, let me ask you something. Whenever they say the R word out straight or curse on your show, do you get demonetized?
Just don't say it. Go ahead.
No. I'm asking you, do you get demonetized?
We just don't say that word. Go ahead. What you want to say about RKelly?
No, because I asked. No. I'm not using it. I call you because a lot of them, they call your show and they curse and then they say, "Oops, I'm sorry." Like, come on,
Let's talk about the RKelly documentary. What you got to say about RKelly documentary? You talking about RKelly? Let's talk about RKelly.
I don't care about what's going on with RKelly. I just was just listening to your show, and I just hate when they do that.
Oh, it's okay. They're going to keep doing it. They grown, and that's what they do. Anything else you want to say? Because that's what they do. Anything else?
I love you.
Love you. Thank you. All right. Okay. Because all these questions y'all be asking, child. I'm not about to do no course because y'all already know what to do. Some of y'all just can't stop cussing. You cuss at your kids early in the morning. You cuss when you go to bed. Some of y'all cuss in your sleep. Some of y'all cuss when y'all making love. Some of y'all cuss when y'all at church. Some of y'all cuss when you go to the grocery store. Some of y'all cuss at your doctor. Some of y'all cuss at your husband, cuss at your children, cuss at the teacher. You just can't stop cussing. Some of y'all thinking about cussing right now. You cuss your boss. You just can't stop cussing. You just can't. You've been cussing your whole life. You just can't stop cussing. All right. It's really. Oh, I'm so sorry. So then cuss again. It's in your paws. It's in your DNA. It's in your essence. You can't stop cussing. You cuss all the time. You can't stop cussing. You can't go one day without cussing. All right. You just can't. You. Unfortunately, a lot of people just cannot. They just been indoctrinated with cussing and stuff like that. Now, if it was a white man, oh yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. You ain't gonna cuss at a white man or something like you be just professional. Mm-hmm. You're the black, you act real ignorant. Go to your white ball. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I can work a double. He said not one cuss word, but as soon as you get on job, you act ignorant, ghetto, ratchet, just cuss. And it's just some of y'all just so you're with the white super. Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir, ma'am. Yes, sir. I get to do this, ma'am. Come here, just be just as ratchet and ghetto. I can work a double, man. Yes, sir, ma'am. I still love you so much. Oh man, it is what it is, you know. So they just a lot of y'all just up now cussing, you know, and they cuss at the TV. It's all that, you know, unless then when you get food stamps, you cuss the food stamp lady out because she snatch your stamp. So I understand and I get it. I just want to say thank you. Oh man, I want to make sure I got a phone call that somebody was supposed to call me. Oh, wow. Okay. Let me take that off. Okay, I took that off that. Thank you so very much. You just cuss. You cuss the Section 8 lady out. It's just in your so you go at work. You don't cause just a new person, but when you get around me, you just get ghetto. You know, just like them blacks that went to the courthouse, they got real ratchet. Then got around them white folk. How you doing, Miss Megan? How you doing, ma'am? Yes, ma'am. I love. How you doing? Got around the black, I ghetto ratchet. Nique at night arguing with Malago Graham. They cussing each other, arguing with Armand, just real ratchet. Then got around them white folks, just so polished. Oh yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'll get your tray for you, ma'am. Get around each other, just cussing each other out. That's what they did. And they wonder why. Them little white folk didn't want to sit with us because y'all acting ghetto or ratchet. Anyway, thank y'all so very much for tuning in to the Wiley Show. Love y'all so very much. I think it was definitely a great conversation. I want to see y'all in the next episode. We've been live. We talked with y'all for 3 hours, but I need a favor. The favor is I need you to subscribe. I'm Wiley. I talk about all topics, trending news, politics, public policy, YouTube, whatever's popping. We talked about the football player. Keep him in your prayers. We're talking about whatever's trending right now, and keep an eye on the show. We talked about the RKelly documentary. We're the first YouTuber to talk about that documentary. And so again, we want to say thank you. Also, if you want to get the notification, you can send our text Wiley to 888-534-4939. All right, let me take our last person. Ms. Barber, you're live. What do you want to say about RKelly?
I wanted to tell you how I feel about this man because he has really affected my life. I demise him. Like, I don't listen to his music. Anywhere his music is playing, I leave. I boycott. That man, unfortunately, has to be caged for the rest of his days on this earth. I hope you can hear me. I don't know. I have these earmuffs on.
Okay, I can hear you. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. All right. So, to be blessed with money and just to carry on like that, so sad. Destroy people's lives, manipulate, turn people out. Olivia lost and turned. That's very sad. And I used to despise seeing people have pages for this man. I would be like, oh my God. So that's what I had to say. Oh, but Wiley, let me tell you, yes, I got a gift for you. I heard a lady when I listened to the replay. I would like to start the donation to get Omar on. I would like to send that Cash App to you, and then I would like to send you a personal Cash App.
Okay.
Because we want to take a collection. We want to get that $500. We have to get you elected. I got some questions. We gonna have some questions. But I just ask you to do one thing. Don't run him off the platform. You understand me? We have to get some things done. And sometimes you got to kiss the ring a little bit. I mean to say this. Please don't ridicule him about that school. I get it at the end, very end, when he's on his way out the door. You understand? But let us get all the goodness because we need him to fight for causes. I'm serious about him organizing the gang members of United States of America suing the United States for the coalition of marijuana. So I want to pay that. So, all right. So where's the Cash App? Put the Cash App up. The lady said on a replay, she said somebody to join her. Remember? You listened to it?
Mm-hmm.
Did you listen to your replay?
I didn't listen to the replay, but we
did
Cash App of $ Marquise Wiley 28. Thank you so very much.
Are you taking a collection for Omar or what?
Absolutely, we taking a collection for Omar. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So don't be like the church now. The church building fund keep building and nothing get done.
Oh, it's definitely there. And he charges $500 for an interview.
Right. That's what we have to raise. Okay.
Which is free. Thank you so very much, Ms. Barbara, and good morning.
All right. Thank you for that. I'll hit you right now. Half is for you and half is for the fun.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
All right. Thank you so very much. Okay. People want us to interview Dr. Umar, and they want Dr. Umar on the Wiley Show and everything like that. So he charges $500 for a interview. That is how much Storm Monroe paid. We reached out, and that is Dr. Umar's fee. So we definitely have that on there. Thank y'all so very much. Good morning. You know, people have auditioned for Two Man and a Lady. We still have not made the final decision. So if you want to audition, all you have to do is show yourself on camera, come on, talk about a subject. That's the best audition so we can get a feel of you. So yesterday, I think Grace and also Miss Barbara came on and auditioned a couple of times. And I think for the first time in history, she showed herself over on the Wiley Show. So we're still having openings. So if you want to be on the show, it's a non-paid gig. But if you have a platform, you will be introduced to thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people that will tune into the content. And that's a good way to have an audience that will translate to rather go and go there for your own channel as well. It'll be a once a week, a 1 hour show, once a week, a 1 hour show. So if you want to come on anytime we talk about a subject, all you have to do is come on camera and talk about the subject, because when we do Two Man and a Lady, we are covering topics, and it's a 1 hour show once a week, 1 hour once a week. And if we get sponsors for that particular episode, like say for instance, we get a sponsor for Nike, or we get a sponsor for Gucci, or we get a sponsor for get a sponsor and they're sponsoring, they're giving us $20,000 to sponsor that episode for that show. You will get paid and get a percentage of the sponsorship money. So that if we get a sponsor, but as of right now, it is a non-paid gig. Come on once a week on the show. The deadline is January the 30th. We just want to just go through this month, getting the feel of the people, and the best way to audition is to hit the link, come on camera, and talk about the subjects. It's a once a week show, 1 hour. We really want you to be dedicated, but it's not, be dedicated. If you want to do it, if you can't do it, I understand. So Miss Barbara came on. She's very faithful. She calls in, she texts, she comes on the show, she talks about the subject. So that is what it is. And shout out to Miss Grace. She did an excellent job on last night. So if you want to be a part of Two Man and a Lady, all you have to do is hit the link. We already have the man. But if you a man, if you say, hey, I want to audition, come on, because you can be on the show. So just in case if somebody were not to be able to do the show, you could be a fill-in for that particular person. So again, you can hit the link. And so we get a Fashion Nova deal. It'd be great. And you get a partial of that sponsorship money. And again, that will be a once a week show. All right. And so again, our Cash App, you want to contribute to the show, Cash App $ Marquise Wiley 28. Thank you so very much. Last night, somebody gave to the Dr. Umar Fund, and they gave $1. All right. And they gave $1 for the Dr. Umar Fund. They gave $1. Actually, somebody thank you. Somebody actually gave $50 today. So people are contributing to it and stuff like that. So thank y'all so very much for that. And we appreciate y'all for contributing to the show. Thank you all for that. And we will see y'all in the next episode. Give me a second. Let me see where they're at. Soon house votes for a sticker. Okay, I'm just watching the news. Right. All right. Let me make sure. We talked about everything. Thank you so very much. So the church. So yeah, church, we have $51. Absolutely. Thank you. So okay. Thank you so very much. Wally, where's Paul? Paul will be back tomorrow. He had to go on a little vacation. He'll be back tomorrow. Paul will be back tomorrow for that way. Thank you so very much. All right. Thank you so very much. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Barbara, for your contribution. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. All right. This is a good show. So we might come back later on today. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you thumbs up the video. Leave us a comment. Let me know what y'all got to say in the comments. For all the people that say we don't talk about other topics, I can tell you don't watch the Wiley Show. Thank y'all so very much for tuning in and watching the show. We're going to see y'all in the next episode. P.O. Box 701122, Dallas, Texas 75370. If you're an author, if you want to send us some items, that's what you can do at that P.O. Box. Also, if you want to go to Twitter at The Wiley Show, Twitter at The Wiley Show. Follow us on Twitter because we're definitely TikTok at The Wiley Show, Snapchat at The Wiley Show, Facebook, The Wiley Show, Instagram at Wiley Show. So we're all on social media. If you want to be notified when I go live, text Wiley to 888-534-4939. Text Wiley, WILEY, 888-534-4939. Thank you, and you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Peace.